Bro, every time I spit into this mic, I have sex with it. I make love to it. You don't just fuck a mic, you make love to it. Oh, yeah. Just like that.
Okay.
Welcome to the Click and Response podcast.
Listening to people talk.
Oh,
Whoa.
right.
Yeah.
Gets me so fucking horny listening to people talk.
I'm sure that's actually a thing.
It probably is.
Yeah.
Would you say someone would be suffering if they had that? Like, probably, right? Because they couldn't do anything without getting off all the time.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, it almost hurts.
Pretty weird. Yeah. Like, it's no fun at a point.
Or is it too much fun all the time?
I don't think, it'd be like, like sex addiction isn't fun, but it sounds fun, but it's not.
Right.
Because, I don't know if you saw that Michael Fassbender movie, but he was having a terrible time. So, yeah.
Nathan, do you or do you not have a sex addiction?
I don't think so. I enjoy it, though, but it's not an addiction. So.
Not yet? Can you, do you develop an addiction, or do you just have an addictive personality and you can't get enough of something?
Oh, I guess, yeah, it's like, well, you could become addicted to a number of things. Like, I guess if any addiction, I might be like, oh man, internet addiction might be a thing, but...
Right.
Like, I've been trying to hide some of the apps I do go back to a lot on my phone, but just because at some point I'm just like, why am I reading this? Like, it's just making me angry. Like, I don't want to... Why? IMDb News. Why? Oh man, someone was cast in this new series that I don't watch. Why did I click on that story? Like, it was like, just like weird kind of stuff like that. Or combing Reddit for like links I haven't clicked on despite not being interested in them. Like, it's just like... Speaking
of Reddit.
Yeah.
We're going to jump right into here. I've been looking at the subreddit Morbid Reality.
Why are you doing that?
I don't actually know.
Okay. We'll call it Morbid Curiosity.
Morbid Curiosity. Yeah, Morbid Reality causes morbid curiosity.
It was like super late at night when I saw you were talking about that, and I was just like, what is that? What's that all about? I like Reddit, and then it was just like, oh, what's this? Click, and it was like a video of some like horrible police sniping thing gone wrong.
Oh, the one where the guy missed. There was a hostage situation in 1991.
Yeah.
And the sniper missed the shot when he was given the okay to give the shot, take the hostage taker out, but he missed. Yeah. And he caused one of the worst hostage situations.
Executions ever.
Ever.
And I, once I realized it was just footage of it, like, I thought it would be like a news story or something. I was just like, oh, I don't want to watch this. And I just like closed it because it was just like, I can't do this right now. And then like, yeah, some of the stories you're reading are just like I guess the one that charted really high was someone went through their grandmother's Google history, and it was just stuff she was looking into, and it was just about like dying, essentially. And it was just like, oh, how sad is that? And then there was a bunch of comments about people talking about stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know what depths you explored in that one.
Let's start with the easy stuff, I guess. First thing, dude rapes his 3 daughters for 8 years.
But is this just a story about that?
It's a clip, or it's on what the fuck is it called now? Who's that dude that's always like, you gotta shape up and ship right or whatever? Who's that dude? Dr. Phil. It's a Dr. Phil special, and it's talking to the victims of incestuous rape or whatever, and basically there's one daughter came forward when she was 12. She had been raped by her father from 5 years old to 12 or whatever when she came forward. So 7 years, I guess. Mm-hmm. And like, he had also been raping their younger daughters the whole time as well.
Okay.
So that's an easy one that's just like, that's gross and weird and stuff. But I watched 40 minutes of that special, and I started looking up basically the like what rights we give sexual deviants like rapists or like criminals of a sexual nature here in Canada. Yeah. And basically registered sex offenders don't have their information given out to the public in Canada, which I think is gross personally.
Well, I don't know, like I mean, this is mostly informed by like a fictional movie, but have you seen Little Children?
No, I haven't.
It's just one of the characters in that is like, well, I guess the character dynamic. One is a former sex offender who has since gotten out of prison and is just living at home. Okay. But in the States, they do give out that information, so the whole neighborhood knows. Yeah. And then this other guy decides to just make it his own personal campaign to like harass this guy. Right. And like it can show that like it's just like, well, like people can reform and people can be fine, and you're not helping the situation by swinging this far to the other extreme. Like clearly you have issues if you're gonna go campaigning in front of their house and be like, this guy's a pervert, he's horrible, and you're just like, you don't know, you weren't there. Like what? Like it's not a super black and white situation, like, because nothing is. So I really, like, I don't know, like, what would you do with that information? Like, just not go to that playground in that neighborhood or something? Like, what would...
Just when your kid ends up in a dumpster with semen all over his back, you know whose house to maybe knock on.
That's, like, such a rare occurrence, though. Like, I mean, if this person has committed, like, murder, it's not the same thing.
Right.
As just, like, a sexual offense, because, like, that's such a broad category, too.
Yeah, like, that is the problem. Like, it is way too broad of a category.
Like, I wasn't wearing pants, and I was wearing a coat, and I was walking around or something.
Right,
like,
but then at the same time, like, the people that actually go out and rape kids and stuff like that, they don't deserve any pity at all. So, like, it's one of the many huge flaws in all justice systems where it's, like, so many gray areas of what they define, like, sexual deviancy, that it's hard to really pinpoint any of that down. But I would still like registered sex offenders to have, like, maybe be, like, notified if one of them moves in, like, across the way from you or something.
I guess.
I was trying to look into it more, but it's kind of a lot of legal jargon when you start looking into stuff like that on the internet, especially, because they don't just want to let everybody know everything. So,
well, yeah, because like at some point, like you're not equipped. Like some people aren't equipped to handle that information. Like they'll just be childish about it. Like it's just like you might cause problems by labeling this person in a certain way, you know, by people being different at some point. Like it's such a strange kind of category of crime. Like it's such a like misunderstandings all around, like pornography problems and all this stuff. Like it's just like. I honestly, at some point, like, I think we've had conversations before about, like, sexual, like, the age of consent or whatever, like, how that's kind of, like, is it too low, is it too high, you know, people, like, getting attracted to celebrities that are, like, 16 before they're supposed to, but then they kind of wait, they have a countdown sites because they're kind of just all waiting for Emma Watson or whatever, you know, like, it's just, like, at some point, there seems to be a large population of people are sexually attracted to people that are below the age they're supposed to, but they can't really express it in any way, so then they just kind of become deviant by not having an outlet for that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just,
I don't know. We're not going to be able to break any barriers or make any headway on any of those discussions on a podcast.
What is that movie with Johnny Depp where he's a vampire?
Dark Shadows?
Dark Shadows. You know, it's like, hey...
We did have this discussion.
I know. It's like, stop forcing Chloe to dance around because she's not allowed to do that yet, because now you're making me feel weird.
But then at the same time, like, you feel weird because you kind of like it.
Well, yeah, because it's dance around, ladies. But it's like, she's a 16-year-old lady, though, so that's not appropriate. And you're just like, well, why is she in the movie?
No, we gotta keep moving. I don't want to put this podcast on a list. I'm sure there's a list that the government holds somewhere. Like, this is a bad conversation.
Well, there was also in the chat, it was brought up, like, if you're urinating in the woods, that could be considered an offense too, because it's just like indecent exposure or something.
I think it can be considered an offense too if you open your door and you're wearing like pajama pants with a hole in it and your crotch is kind of sticking out a little bit, and when you go to pick up your newspaper.
Yeah, like I've been in my boxers and then go to get the mail or like take out the recycling because it's right there, and it's just like, that's indecent. And you're just like, what? It's everybody, what? Really? Like, it's my house. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like, even worse in my situation because I'm across the street from a school. So, wrong day, wrong time.
Have you ever gone flashing?
No. No, I have not.
Okay.
But
I don't mean at the school. In general.
In general, no, I haven't. I have not done that. Why?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Okay.
I realize now, though, that it was kind of weird because you're like, I live across from the school. Then I'm like, you ever go flashing? So
yeah, it's just like, what are you saying? No, I do not do that. But it's just like, I'm in a weird kind of part of the neighborhood where, yeah, like if I left my window open and was just walking around my house, like, because my house, I can wear what I want.
Yeah.
You know? Like, people could freak out about it, and it's just like, what do you mean? And then you end up on this list, and then you get reported in the neighborhood, and then you never have a good day ever again because people assume the worst.
Now, I don't want to stir the pot too much.
Yeah,
and, like, I'm ready to move on whenever you are. However, you say like, it's my house, I'm able to wear whatever I want, or blah blah blah. At what point does a woman's clothing become too revealing that it's considered gross, like illegal?
I don't know.
Because, like, have you ever been to, like, a nightclub or, like, a bar, like a weird bar at night or something? Like, the stuff some women go out in shouldn't be legal. Just saying. Like,
but should nudity be illegal?
Well, I'm gonna say, like, if I go answer my door naked and a kid sees me and I get arrested, then a woman going to like a bar or whatever, barely wearing a fucking cloth, should also get arrested. It's the same thing.
I mean, they're, like, usually in a bar situation, everyone's over a certain age, so you're kind of entering into some sort of agreement. It's like, yeah, I can deal with some revealing outfits. That's
unless
fine.
You live at the bar, you had to leave your house and get there, though.
Oh, you're saying like to get, like, well, do they like take off their jacket and check it in, and then it's like, whoa, saucy? Or are you saying?
I mean, like, up here probably, because you can't go anywhere in Canada without a jacket during night. So
I would never. No, I would never like want to charge someone with being too naked, because like at the worst, someone needs to explain to their kids that it's like, yeah, everyone like doesn't wear clothes all the time. Like, you know, I don't know. It's like, at some point, it's just getting into kind of like, you're going to force people to have awkward conversations with their kids, but they probably should at some point. And like, with
of course.
Like, it's not like there's an age gate on Morbid Reality, right? So like, some 8-year-old could check in and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, now you have to have some conversations. Like, it's yeah, the information is kind of this weird. It's been a conversation, like, topic in drama class this past week about like, just, is there too much information? Like, do we have too much access to it? Like, filtering what's useful and what isn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a new problem, because up to a certain point, it was just like, well, this is one of like 68 books I had access to, you know, or like, this is the record collection we had. And now it's just like, no, it's infinite, everybody. All music ever could be found if you really want to know. Every article ever written if you really wanted to know. Like, it's just like, the immense volume of it all is so crazy that it's just like, how do you prepare people to sort through it properly? Or like, is school useful anymore? Because it's like it's kind of behind the times now. Yeah. Like, it's like the professor's up there and it's just like, oh yeah, no, I already heard about that, and I've actually already read more about it than you have because I'm on the internet, or something like that could conceivably happen. You're just like, or you reveal some new details that even the professor didn't know because you follow Steven Soderbergh on Twitter or something. You know, like, hypothetically, I don't even think he's on Twitter, but whatever. Yeah, but whatever. In relation to this, I guess it's just like, kids are going to grow up way faster than ever before. Or maybe not ever.
They already are, though.
Yeah. I don't know if ever before. That's the thing, because like kids used to have like too much, like a lot of responsibility really young, right? Like it's like, well, you're 12 years old, time to get married, get out of here, you know. And now it's like that's ridiculous, but other things are being learned and acquired earlier, like topics that just would not be discussed in any way.
I think this is the better way, honestly. Instead of like you're 13, go out, get a job, and support your mother.
Yeah.
Now it's like I have information to deal with life.
Yeah, but it does kind of make it like this generation, I guess, has been kind of criticized as being like just not very active, like kind of just sitting around, not valuing careers and stuff in the same way that previous ones did. But at the same time, I think it's just like, well, we have like the world is our oyster in a way. It's just there, but we have to kind of decide which part of it we're most interested in. And that's such a weird decision, because at some point your commodity is your time, and it's just like, do you want to spend X number of time to get good at this or this or this or this? And you're just like, I don't know, what about this, this, or this? And like, there's just infinite options on all sides.
Right.
Like it's definitely been like a weird thing. Like I've been looking to, in June, that's it for school. So now I have an English degree. What does that mean? Like, I don't.
You're just like, I don't even know what that means.
But at the same time, like, I don't feel as self-conscious about it now, because like it's become apparent. Like I watched this video last week where it was like talking about a bunch of current problems that our generation faces or whatever. And one of the tidbits was just like, did you know like the top 10 jobs like that were in most demand in 2010 didn't even exist in 2004? And like, that's just going to keep happening. So it's not like you're going to get the right degree. The degree you get is basically useless immediately, because it's like, well, yeah, the stuff you learned in first year is so
the only reason you get a degree is to show your employer that you can stick with something. Yeah,
it's like I'm committed to like learning and improvement. I've met people, I can relate to people, I can express ideas. Like the content that I'm going to be spitting back and applying is going to be all new. It's not going to be like, oh, well, fortunately I read Beowulf, so I can deal with this. Just like, no, who cares? Like, whatever. Like, that's not going to help you unless you're working on Robert Zemeckis' adaptation. Oops, you missed your chance, because that was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, it's just been a lot of weird crises like that have been coming up in a bunch of different ways. And I don't know how to really deal with the like this current like sexual crimes thing. Like if we want to get off of that.
Well, I mean, just going back to morbid reality, basically the whole subreddit is people posting stuff that is morbid.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if you had a reality show for morbid stuff, that would be the subreddit.
Or like that's the stuff that's just like, well, this is the unedited thing. Like
right.
You see the news story, but this is like the raw footage that this was cut from.
It's like, yeah, you saw this person, like, you heard that this person got hurt. Well, this is his whole body in a lathe.
Well, it sounds like the whole, like, you know, every news story where it's like the following may disturb you. It's like that, but that's all of it. It's all the content, you know. Or a lot of it seems to be people relaying very personal stories without any joking around, kind of. Because, like, there's a lot of humor about dark stuff on Reddit.
One night I spent about 3 hours on there just reading about people who basically lost their kid and like spouses and car crashes and stuff like that, and it made me not want anybody I know driving anymore.
Yeah.
It was bad. That was a bad night.
I don't really know how I've been getting into conversations about like, hey, our society needs oil, needs gasoline. Like, you're not going to give up your car, are you? And I was like, well, yeah. Like, why? What's wrong with that? Like, it's just like people are kind of electing to live fast-paced lives because they just do, and I'm not really sure why. Like, I kind of wish there was more pedestrian stuff going on. Like, I was walking home from school today, and at some point I got on a bus anyway because it was kind of cold, but. Just the noisy vehicles everywhere. Like, it's dangerous. You can't walk out on the street or you'll get creamed by a bus or something. Like, it was just like, why is everyone in such a hurry to get to places? What's going on? It's just slow down, just relax. But like, you know, information is like fast paced to an absurd degree, but that's kind of safer. You can just sit at home and it's not like you're in physical danger. So I haven't been driving in a while, and it's strange. Like, I'm not sure if I like it or not. Like, I definitely do remember the freedom of being able to go places was kind of nice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's just like there's a certain amount of just base level stress involved in doing it at all. So, yeah. Cars.
I'd rather drive, because then I could get a job somewhere, anywhere other than my area.
I mean, on one hand, though, you are kind of looking at the worst case scenarios. So, like, percentages would probably show you that it's not that big a deal or something. Like, it's just like, I'm going to get on an airplane. I'm going to watch this airplane crash video. It's just like, well, that barely
I do that all the time.
Okay. Like, see the worst that could happen and just to be ready with it?
No. It's just like, I know I have to travel on plane this place tomorrow, so I'm going to watch 3 hours of Mayday. Or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. It's the same reason why I like reading about serial killers. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I mean, morbid curiosity.
Well, it definitely reminded me, like, it seemed like it would be the same dark path I went down when I read that Christopher Dorner thing. And I was just like, oh, I just don't want to do that again right now. Like, I just can't take it right now.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it'd just be too electing to be depressed for some reason. Like, it's just like, no, I have enough going on right now that I'm like, that's right in my face that I need to deal with all this family stuff. So,
well, like, I'm just trying to think of the one that hit me the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
There's like a dark topic.
There's been so many of them, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's really much too hard to summarize or think about right now. Yeah, morbid curiosity. One of them was like, post about like your stuff you found on IT, like being IT found on other people's computers that you were fixing.
Oh yeah.
And one person was saying something about how they found a bunch of like child pornography of like the father or the person who brought in the computer. He came in with his kids or whatever, and like just pictures and videos of him abusing them like sexually.
Yeah. And
I feel really gross, but I'm going to go ahead and admit this. My first thought in my head was I wanted details about what the fucking videos were. Like, I want to know how. Yeah, I want to know how far this goes. When they say that he was hurting them with quotation marks, like, I need to know exactly what was going on.
Right. Well, it's just like, well, I'm not gonna. That's gross. Why would you? And it's like, oh, sorry. I guess that. Whoops.
It's a real dark place to be.
Right, because like I mean I saw this movie Mysterious Skin.
Yeah. Which
is Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's kind of about two kids who were abused, and then they kind of grow up and they deal with it in very different ways. And then like, it's NC-17. It gets into some pretty kind of like, whoa, like it's all edited in a way that's not like obviously like real business going on, but it's just kind of like just enough to get your imagination going down this really weird path. And then it's just kind of like, well, is it like that? Is it comparable to what's happening here in this YouTube clip? And it's just like, stop it! What? You shouldn't know that. Yeah. It's a weird, or like Hard Candy. Yeah. Or like there's like films that kind of deal with this subject, but in a very kind of cleaned up way compared to reality. So it's a weird thing to make comparisons to.
It's just the voyeuristic side.
Yeah.
We have to see people at their worst.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But anyway, so I've been doing that. And then we talked last week a little bit. I've been watching Full House. And I was saying that the reason I watched Full House, I realized, was because it was kind of like cleaning. Like, if you had a whiteboard that was my brain and soul.
Yeah.
And like you were messing it up with a whole bunch of marks everywhere, or like writing a bunch of terrible things on it, Full House would be my version of taking the wet cloth and wiping everything off. Mm-hmm. So basically I watched seasons 6, 7, and 8. I rounded out the rest of Full House over the last week. And I don't have a whole lot more to say, but I really do like that show quite a bit. And those are the better seasons because that's when the That's when Michelle, first of all, even though she's self-involved and annoying, she talks and like is a person. And Stephanie is in junior high, I think. Junior high, yeah. So there's those kind of weird junior high girl problems. And then DJ is in senior high graduating years or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get the more like closer to home, like this happened, even though it was 10 years ago now. This happened more recently sort of thing. Like just trying to find your footing in life after school and stuff. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot I can say about it that people.
What are you going to do when you run out of it, though?
I'm out.
Oh, that's the end of the show?
Yeah, seasons 6, 7, and 8. All 3 seasons I watched.
Oh, okay. So what's your new whiteboard cleaner?
I get to start over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, now taking suggestions for things that will make my soul feel better.
I guess, yeah, it really does sound similar to my weird binge with ponies like a year ago of just like, I just need this. Just leave me alone. I just need to cleanse my brain. It's it's lighthearted and nothing weird's happening. It's just fine. Yeah. And now it's over. And there's talk of a horrifying spin-off that I don't know.
We should
They're humans now.
Yeah, I heard about that. They were talking about that on Spaghetti Cast.
Yeah. Equestria Girls. Yeah. I don't know. It's like they turned it into Bratz, and I don't know why.
Would you be mad at me if I watched that and got super into it?
I mean, it would just be like, come on, why do you gotta... Like, unless maybe it could... Like, I can't throw out the possibility that, hey, maybe it'll be actually really good. But...
What kind of doubtful?
It's just so weird. Like, I just don't know who they're catering that to. Like, why do that? It's just strange. But I haven't even really followed up on whether or not that's true. Like, this was like a month ago, a magazine article came out about that. And yeah, I don't even know how to... Like, I just want to be a fan of that television show, but it's like impossible to do that without this whole fandom thing getting in the way. So I'm definitely like way more self-conscious about being like, yeah, I love that show, just without, like implications.
So you're just straight up going to say that you denounce the fandom for the most part. Like the fandom maybe that everybody sees.
Well, like the insecurity of it.
Yes.
Like it's just it's so weird to see that continue to happen because like it's like everything, no one cares. Like you don't need to be evangelizing it because it's just one of like 8 billion things going on right now. Right. So like at that point, it's like people would question, well, are you wearing the shirt because you just want to throw this thing in my face, or do you just want to wear that shirt? And like,
what?
I don't know. Like, people are wearing buttons and stuff, and just being like, "Yo, I'm down with the herd" and stuff like that. Like, it's becoming like this weird gang thing almost.
This is amazing.
But it's like a happy gang, Like, but I'll be wearing my Pinkie Pie shirt down at the mall or something, and then people will kind of like give me shout, like just be like, "Hey, sweet," and it's just like, "Oh, weird." Like I wouldn't do that. Like I'm just wearing my shirt.
Basically, you wearing the shirt is the brony equivalent of throwing up the gang symbols and walking around like that all the time. Yeah,
like the blood hand thing or whatever. Yeah.
So what you're saying is that in brony culture, you are essentially a member of the Bloods.
Kinda.
Okay.
But at the same time, we don't commit to my knowledge, we don't commit crimes.
Okay. Maybe you just didn't get the memo.
Hang out and whatever, but I'm not really sure what.
Eat apples.
Eat apples, yeah, maybe, or baking could like. I mean, I kind of wish stuff like that was actually going on. It seems more like people just kind of hang out and awkwardly and just kind of. I don't know. I haven't been to a meetup in a long time, but it definitely got really weird really quickly because it's like a bunch of introverts hanging out together, but they don't know how to hang out.
So
it gets
it's
really
like
weird.
The high school dance where the boys are on one side in a line, not talking to the girls, and the girls are on the other side, just like waiting to be asked or something. Just like everybody's just kind of like in their own separate corners, like waiting for someone to talk to them, even though they all share the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm there trying to kind of just talk about other things, and it's just like, all right. Yeah, I guess to clarify, there's there's like a local game hangout place called Sentry Box, where you meet up and play board games and whatever. And they have a weekly Brony meetup, which from what I went to was essentially just watching the most recent episode of the show if the season is on, which is fine, I guess, why not? It's like meeting up to watch Lost or Walking Dead or something, except it's a cartoon, but whatever. But then after that, it just becomes kind of just like weirdly watching a bunch of fan videos, which are often kind of terrible. Like if I'm just going to be like, it's internet content. So it's just like someone slapped together a video or a remix or something. And yes, yeah. I was locked out of the first meeting and I got so upset because I needed some sort of outlet with people that like were also on the same page as me about this. But then when I got there, like none of them had really seemed to think about it as much as I had, or were willing to talk about it in some sort of like sociological way. It was more just kind of like, this is awesome. What? Or like getting way into the background characters and dumb stuff like that. It's just like, that's not even written content. Like, why are we getting excited about Derpy? It makes no sense.
I love that. Fucking Mario 64 Mario fucking super fan.
Yeah.
Just because, like, that's such an old episode that we were talking about that. And then you were like, then I went to Dairy Queen, I got some burgers and a milkshake, then I walked home.
Yeah.
I felt so sick.
I ate myself sick as, like, just like pity party. It was the worst. It was... Like, I was 24 years old, and just, it was the most embarrassing meltdown I've ever had about anything. And, I thought I had it together, and that was one of those kind of, like, I learned a lot about myself today.
Yeah.
Because it was just, like, so humbling and weird. Like, it's just, like, like, I'm sure there's other things that could trigger a similar, like, tantrum-like rage. Like, I'd just come home, it's just like, oh, what? We sold all your game systems. What? Yeah, we just sold them. Or like, someone takes something that I really value beyond reason. It's just like, oh yeah, we threw this out.
What do you value beyond reason?
Oh man, I'm just kind of like, probably just like old games, stuff like that. Like video games, posters maybe. Like there's a box I have of just like cards and childhood.
That's just really hard to get rid of. I know. Yeah.
And it's like looking through, it's just like, well, this isn't even a good card, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know, but it's just kind of like a box of like Nathan's history. Like this was stuff that happened, and it's not like I look at it really, like don't go through it often, but I should probably put that stuff in something more secure. If there was a house fire, that thing would be gone. But
you can buy fireproof lock boxes.
Yeah, I should probably go through that and put the more important things somewhere, but. I'm not sure. Like, there's weird little trinkets like that. Actually, I've been thinking, like, did your family ever grow up with a history of, like, family videos?
Yes. Okay, so it's weird you bring that up, because I actually have the old, they were called mini VHS tapes or whatever.
Yeah.
You would need the bigger one to play it in your VCR that you would, like, plug into a cassette deck thing.
The tape in bigger
and then you
thing.
would put that in your VCR to watch them.
It's like a mini tape dock that you put in your.
I can't remember what the actual. Maybe it's SVHS. I can't remember. There's an actual term for them, but they're right beside my desk. Actually, there's a bag of them from like when I was really young, me and my brothers. Yeah, and that was going to be a Christmas gift for my parents. I was going to transfer all of that onto a CD, burnt CD, and then like do a DVD case and everything for them, but I haven't been able to get the part I need to be able to convert that to like to record it or whatever on my PC.
Yeah, we had a big, like really big camera that just recorded straight to VHS. So you just put like a full tape in there. So then we were able to transfer those to DVDs. My dad did that.
Mario 64 Mario's 100% correct. It's VHS-C for camcorder.
Okay.
Basically, so.
Yeah, I have a set of those. Like I have a CD wallet full of those, and I think there's another set of copies somewhere else. So like even if something were to happen and those would be destroyed, there'd still be more out there.
Yeah.
But like, man, I can't, like, I've been like half thinking about going through those for like a long time, but I don't know like what I'd get out of it, or if I'd find it just weird or what. Because like so many, like I didn't shoot most of them at all. It would be like my dad. So it'd be literally looking at myself in a like from a perspective I've never seen myself.
Right.
You know, like, oh, I remember that story, but from my perspective, like I just beat that level or something, or like me and my friend were hanging out and built this thing or whatever, and it's just like, I don't know if that's like a good idea or a really, really bad idea, because like you'll just get way too sentimental and in this weird spot emotionally.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, you didn't ask for it, but I'm going to give my opinion anyways, or my advice.
Yeah.
I would work on whatever you're dealing with your, like, the family stuff. Like, wait until you're comfortable with and everything settles down for you before you do that.
Because it's just like opening up, like, hey, do you want more emotional baggage right now? Because it looks like you don't have enough.
No. It's not even that. It's like, you know this thing that's happening right now? Well, why don't you watch it when it was a little more innocent and, like, better? And then, don't do that. Just trust me. Don't.
Oh, there's my grandparents at their 75th anniversary or whatever. What? Oh,
we need to move on. This is going to go real bad for both of us.
Oh, okay. If we just start going down. Home media. See, it's a media-related thing. Videos. But actually, sorry, my ultimate question with that is like, is that kind of stuff, like, really done anymore? Because, like, video is so trivial now. So it's just like, oh, well, I have, like, 47 videos on my phone, and then I put on this backup drive, and you know, whatever. Like, people just don't, like, there's no, like, oh, yeah, the family movies. It's more just like, well, everyone's shooting movies all the time.
There's nothing special anymore, because, like...
It's not special.
We have a video of the three of us, or wait, the four of us, because Brittany was with us as well.
Yeah.
Stopped in a place in Idaho, I think, trying Dorito taco.
Yeah, I posted that on YouTube.
Yeah, we have a video of us doing that.
Yeah.
Like, there's no long gone are the days where it's like, oh my god, he's about to take his first steps. Hurry, go get this thing that weighs 50 pounds, put it on your shoulder, and let's hope we get it in time. Because we want this.
Like, no, just pop out your phone and there you go. Like, oh man, my Facebook is just a never-ending babies and little kids.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's my cousins and whatever, and, like, some people I don't even know how I know, but they're just posting videos of their baby.
Have you noticed everybody's pregnant? Or, like, has kids these days?
Man, so many kids all around. I don't even feel like, you know, on behind. But
we're getting old. You're getting old when all your friends are posting baby pictures.
I guess, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, I think, you know, like, I still have plenty of time left to do something like that, but it's a lot. It's a big responsibility really early in life. I wouldn't elect to do that. That's been, like, a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, could I have figured out who I was at all or finished school if I also had a kid?
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Of course you could. You just have to do it. It's just way harder.
It's just way harder.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's just like, do you want to elect to have this weird handicap on your, you know, on your game? It's like hard difficulty.
Like, it's just weird because I think back to high school and, like, everybody knew that girl that was like 16 and had to drop out for a couple months because she had a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't know how the fuck you would even do that. How do you enjoy life at 16 when you have to take care of another life? That's just fucking insane to me.
Right. And how good a job would you do, really? Like, that's okay. That's another thing. Like, there's, like, certain topics that come up on Facebook and stuff where it's just like someone relaying how they dealt with this situation with their kid. A lot of back and forth. A lot of people post back and forth dialogue with their kids.
Yeah.
Like a conversation they just had. And some of them are horrifying. Like, it's just like, oh my god, you're just totally misleading your kid. That is the worst way you handled that. But you can't weigh in because you're not a parent or whatever. Like, you can't just be like, you're raising your child wrong. Like, that's a inappropriate comment. Like, you'd get so much hate. Like, it's just like unfriended or something.
See, it's weird that you're the one saying this.
Okay.
Because there was a while there where you were that guy. That's just like, where someone would just be like, thank the Lord for a beautiful day. You'd be like, you know, there's no such thing as God. You're a piece of shit, right? Like, essentially, that's what you would say.
Right.
It's like, don't talk to your mother that way. Like, Jesus.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I've still got myself in, like, one or two little pickles this week about, one was about abortion and one was about oil.
Do we want to talk about those right now? Let's talk about abortion and oil right now on the Pixel Response podcast.
Well, both of them actually resolved pretty much. Like that, they didn't get as heated as they would have. Yeah, like 6 months ago or something. Really though, like I guess it's like little therapy corner time or whatever. I think most of the reason I've been like reining that in a lot is because my dad hasn't been, and just to see like this kind of version of myself going crazy. It's just like, oh, well, I'm not going to do that then.
Well, because like he's just doing what you did when that happened to you, like 2 years ago now. Right?
I guess like a year and a half or something. Like,
so you're seeing it now through the other side, kind of,
yeah,
or as a just a standby person.
Yeah, like, it's just like, oh, this is how one note and aggressive I was being for no reason.
Right.
Oh, I should probably just not do that.
Have you talked to him at all and been like, dude, just trust me, I've been down this road. Just rein it in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little.
I have tried, but recently I've also just been kind of just not engaging because it's just like, yeah, like there was a atheist hangout this week that I was just like, I just don't want to do that. And I just didn't go.
There's an atheist hangout?
There's so many atheist hangouts, and I don't know, like...
Why? Why can't you just hang out with anybody and not bring up your beliefs?
See, like, I think that's, like, a similar, like, issue I took with the Brony thing. Like, it's just, like, if you're all hanging out for only one reason, what are you doing? Like, what... Like, it's just like, man, yeah, we're all way into this thing. Okay.
Well, it's different because you went to that Reddit meetup, and that's different because it's, like, we share a site, but, like, we don't share a common belief.
Kind of about everything.
Yes.
So it becomes a pretty diverse conversation pretty quickly. That said, I haven't been to too many of those because they mostly end up being like, let's go to this pub or let's go to this movie. And it'll be like, oh, I've already seen that movie and alcohol's way too expensive, yo. I got it.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So I'm good.
Oh, we should be drinking right now.
I have some stuff, but... I don't. Yeah.
You know what? We'll do a break in a little bit. We'll grab a drink and we'll continue this.
Okay. Then hopefully it'll lighten things up a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's not. It hasn't been like too like angry stuff going on here. It's more just kind of like that. Just sounds like things that would distract from me writing this essay or finishing this Zelda game, which I'd much rather do. Because it's so much simpler. Like, yeah, I'm saving the universe, but it's just like, I'm just slashing stuff and going and solving puzzles. Like, it just makes sense. Yeah. Like, it's kind of that, that article that went up on our site about escapism?
Yeah.
Like, really, games have just been that. Like, it's just like, oh man, I just want to play some video games. I just want to, oh yeah. So colorful. Oh, I collected all these things. Yeah, I accomplished something today in video game land.
Dude, no homework or nothing. I'm a little worried about you. You okay, bro?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
I think so, anyway. I don't know. Why? What's wrong?
We're drifting apart.
Oh.
You're drifting into a sea of endless depression.
Oh, I don't know.
And I'm sitting here playing Pokemon.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'm playing a lot of Pokemon.
Okay. Just in Pokemon in Full House. Like, I guess I could be worried about you, but I don't know.
Wait, okay, why are you worried about me? Let's get into this.
That sounds a little like... Well, I guess you have the time, right? So you might as well occupy it, but it just sounds like a lot of, like, borderline obsessive stuff, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, that makes sense. I binged hard on some Skyrim.
Yeah.
I get you, but...
Well, I mean...
And you are at least sharing it, right? Like, most of this is...
When you have nothing else to do all day, streaming Pokemon FireRed for 12 hours straight is nothing, because you're essentially hanging out with random people on the internet while you play a video game.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, that's fine.
Otherwise, you lay in bed and you wonder why even wake up. Why am I even here?
I've been sleeping in a lot, dude, yeah.
I know.
It's mostly, I think I did get a normal amount of sleep last night. Like, it's not like I was in bed for like 12 hours or anything, but it was still just like, man, I woke up at like 2 in the afternoon. What the hell?
I know.
Gotta go outside.
Okay. Do you also hate the feeling of waking up alone? I hate it.
Now that I have something to compare it to, yeah, it sucks.
Like, I hate waking up and it's like, oh, she's been at work for like 5 hours already. And I'm waking up, like, I might just wait in bed until someone comes over.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason to get up right now. This is going really bad.
Emotional tenderness corner here on the Pixel Response, yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I don't know. It's been one of the, it's just been kind of like I should probably do something. Like there was a day this past week where it was just like I'm playing Zelda and whatever, and then it gets to really late and you're just like, oh wait, I haven't been outside. I haven't done anything.
I haven't been outside in a couple days now.
Whereas I just made a trip to the Tim Hortons because I was just like, well, they're open, so I'll just do that, and then at least there's somebody there.
Yeah,
and that'll be a thing. But
I've done that a couple times.
That
once a week, I'll walk over to the SO.
Yeah,
you have to, otherwise, god damn.
Yeah, I think it's partially been also like such like I don't know anymore if I can fully recommend getting way into Desert Island Discs like I have, because this is the most melancholy podcast in the world, because every single one is about like, what if you were alone in a drift and no one was there? What would you do? And then it's just like them kind of answering these questions, but then meanwhile those questions are just kind of echoing in your head. And I'm just like, man, I think a Desert Island would be the worst. I don't know. Like, I think I'd like part of it, then I'd go insane.
It's kind of funny you bring this up because I can't remember. I think it was Retro Killstrain.
Yeah.
Where John and I were saying, like, who would you bring on an island if you were stuck on a desert island out of your other two top-down perspective hosts?
Right.
And we said, like, if you just wanted to, like, sit back and enjoy your time there, probably Nathan. And now you're just like, I think it'd be the worst. So,
well, I mean, if with people, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, the setting of an island is fine. Like, I would totally like to rough it on an island or whatever. That's fine. But it's the isolation. Like, the scenario is you are literally by yourself. And you have one record, one book, and that's it. And it's just like, oh man, that's such a weird scenario. Like, I don't know. And then to dip into that scenario over and over again, like a bunch of times like I have, it's just like, I don't know. I need something to counterbalance now. Is there like any hilarious comedy podcasts? They're just so funny. Just lighthearted.
I really like Vent Chat.
Okay.
That's all. That's my go-to. They make me feel better because those guys are ridiculous.
Okay.
And I like that they're still, like, attainable, where they're ridiculous, I find them funny, but yet I could talk to them on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So, yeah.
I just need something to a counterweight, because like some of the stories are pretty lighthearted and whatever, but all of them are kind of origin stories, or like, how did you get to where you are? How did you succeed?
Yeah. And
then that just kind of puts this weird kind of like, why aren't I succeeding? I have all the knowledge. Why aren't I succeeding? It's like, well, you're kind of doing stuff. You gotta finish school. Don't like stop it. Slow down. You know, because it's like context. This took decades. Like Christopher Lee, his career is 50 years or whatever.
Right.
Like, you can't just run off and go do what he did like right now. That doesn't make sense. It took
Not everybody's a Bieber.
Yeah, not everyone's a Bieber, and even so, like, what's Bieber's reflections going to be in like 30 years?
When everybody hates him still. It's like, you're Justin Bieber, you're that fucking faggot kid. Like,
yeah,
that's something he has to worry about.
Yeah, like, he's got his own anxieties, man. Fame, like, there's actually been a lot of reflection about fame and the costs of it in pop culture, too, like, lately.
Yeah.
So it's, like, I think everyone knows it's a mixed bag. Like, it's not just a party all the time. But even if it is a party all the time, what would the stresses of literally partying all the time be?
I don't know. Ask Mega64.
Yeah.
They're always dancing.
They're always dancing around. They're going to Disneyland. You know, like, what? How do you keep it? How do you stay on all the time? It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you just find happiness in what you do naturally.
I guess this kind of does lead directly into, like, the thematic, like, concerns of this show I started watching called Enlightened.
Okay.
It's been getting a lot of talk recently because season 2 was apparently really awesome and it's in danger of being canceled. So people are kind of like, no, come on, everyone watch it. So I was like, all right, whatever. I've been meaning to watch this for a while. It's Laura Dern, like the actress.
Yep.
And I guess just something about the vibe of it or whatever, like it's got more plot arc kind of concerns than Louis does, but it seems kind of like this is Laura Dern's Louis. You know, like it's just kind of like her thoughts and her like notions are poured into this character, and it's like if you're at all interested in her as a acting person, which like I've been for a while because she was in a bunch of David Lynch stuff and like Jurassic Park and whatever. So it's kind of neat to see that kind of character. But it's like she's this woman who has this like crazy breakdown at work, and then goes off to kind of find herself on this retreat, like this psychotherapy thing, and then comes back and is kind of now made self-aware, but now she's kind of in conflict where she works and like all the stuff she's seeing in the world and whatever. Like she now has social concerns she didn't before, and like she's relating to people in a different way, but it's kind of freaking them out and stuff. Like it just kind of reminded me of things I was doing post, like, I'm an atheist now, get out of my way, I'm gonna do stuff, you know? Like it's relatable in that sense, and then it's also, but then at the same time, there's all sorts of like hypocrisies and inner inconsistencies with how she behaves and what she says. You know, it's hard to explain.
Yeah,
but
like I'm trying to follow along here.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I'm trying, like it, you know, like a dilemma for a show will be like someone says something kind of catty at like a baby shower, and then it kind of just keeps snowballing into this like weird rift between these two people that work together, and then like you know, just like really kind of plausible relationship issues on several fronts, but all happening at the same time because that's how life works. Right. You know, like it's like you relating to your mom, and the people you know at work, and your ex-husband, and all this stuff. Like in this scenario, like all these different people are constantly needing attention and like maintaining of the social network that you have, but then you're kind of still trying to figure out what you're going to do. Like I don't know. It touches on a lot of stuff that I think is really relatable and interesting. I've only seen the first half of the first season so far, but I've generally really liked it. It's not like a comedy though. Like that's kind of why it reminds me of Louis, because it's kind of funny, but then it'll just be kind of like, oh, that was just sad or whatever. Like it's like this weird mixing of emotions that seems more realistic than most shows, even though it's kind of very scripted. Like it's very kind of constructed in a way that things work out and lessons are learned in a way, but It also has to kind of fit together more naturally than I think. Her mom's in it too. Like it's actually her mom, the actress Diane Ladd. Like they've worked together before in Wild at Heart, but it's like that way they have like a very natural like chemistry in that sense too. And I don't know. It's been a bit of a interesting like relief to see something similar and people pondering similar problems in an intelligent way. But I don't know what season 2 gets into, because that's kind of the one everyone's talking about. Like I hope it stays as thoughtful as this first one. But yeah, and I guess, you know, I'd hope HBO doesn't cancel it. Full transparency, I'm not an HBO subscriber, so I'm not exactly helping. But, you know.
It's because HBO are a bunch of fucking losers.
They're kind of behind on
the times.
Business models. Yeah. Like, I really like what Netflix is doing. I'm going to say it again.
Yeah.
I was impressed with how they've handled...
Netflix is doing what HBO should have done, like, fucking 5 years ago.
Like, it's just like, we got a subscription service. You can pay X dollars a month and watch this stuff. And it's just like, dude, like, yeah, I would pay $8 a month just for HBO. Like, yeah. You know, like, whereas Netflix has all this library of content, like AMC and all this stuff, but... Like HBO, you know, you've earned the right to have, like, you have a good library of content on your own, but, you know, accept money. Like, accept my money and let me...
Like, I'm here throwing it at my fucking TV, but it's not doing anything.
So then I just go over to this pirate website, and it's just like, oh, hey, sweet.
And all I have to do is click this button, and I have everything you've ever done in about 2 days of downloading.
Yeah. It would take a while, but...
Yeah.
I've been actively, like, I want to watch, like, people keep talking about The Wire. People keep saying it's amazing. It's like, all right, well, you know. Or, like, I tried watching The Sopranos, but I got it from the library. And it's like, can you really watch 13 hours of a show in 1 week? Like, you could, but I didn't feel compelled to, so I watched, like, two of them, and then I had to return it. And it's just like, I can't watch TV this way, because now I'm back on the waiting list. And it's going to be a couple months. Like, it's just, that's not going to work out either. And I guess I could just buy it, but I haven't even seen it. I don't know if I like it. Like, then it's taking up shelf space, dude. What if I like it enough to watch it, but not enough to keep it?
I don't know. I don't know how to help anything.
Solve these problems for me, Paul.
I'm feeling really useless right now. Really useless. I want to go back to Pokemon.
Okay.
At least there, I know what to do.
I know. Like, it's like, I am still very critical of like the power fantasy video game thing, like how every game is doing that.
But at the same time, it's nice to have control over something.
Yeah, at the same time, it's like, in this place, I can jump really high. I can blow up anything, or whatever. It's just like, yeah, like every now and then you need that. But it's like in a world where everything is that. Like, I've heard this argued, it's like, in a world where every single food item is loaded with bacon, bacon becomes gross, or whatever. Like, it's, you know, but you like it still. You just can't have it all the time.
Right.
It's like there's too much junk food. It's just that. There's too much of that. But at the same, you know, I am enjoying some of the stuff they're doing with this one. Okay, I guess this actually does kind of lead directly into some topics they touch on in that video game tropes versus women video. Did you see that?
I did.
Okay, it's kind of been making the rounds. How did you feel about it?
Okay. Do we talk about the backstory? I think it's important. I guess Feminist Frequency, Anita Sarkeesian, that whole bullshit, basically asked for a bunch of money. She gets way, way more than I thought anybody would ever give her, but whatever. Yeah,
she asked for like $6,000 and ends up with $158,000. You know,
something like that. Yeah,
a
ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
So I was excited because I was just like, okay, this is enough money to fuel, like, for an internet video, for like a series. Really, we do fucking podcasts for free, and like we know people that do videos for free. So this is going to be good. So right. I'm just like, okay, they got a bunch of money. They can take time, even hire people to help if they need to. They can put a lot of thought, a lot of research, that whole sort of thing into this. And it's pretty much just like any other YouTube video. Like, it's just very generic, very basic.
There's like a lot of footage spliced in there, but
have you seen any of her other stuff? It looks the exact same. Like, there's no noticeable improvement. And for $150,000, like, that's fucking ridiculous, first of all.
I guess maybe it's more just like now she could just, maybe she had to like quit her job to write more. Like, what is, I don't know.
But like, she said this would be out. I can't remember the first date she promised. I think it was August or September of last year.
Yeah.
She had a lot of time to work on this. Maybe she worked on the whole series at once, in which case, fine, whatever.
Right.
But
so it's just a regular produced show now, and like there's more on the way.
Like, do you want to talk about the actual video or the stuff going around it, and how Anita Sarkeesian basically censors the internet because she wants to play the victim card to get views?
Like, okay, that's a part of it I didn't realize until today because I watched it linked to me on a blog or something.
Mm-hmm.
So like she's like very like, hey, embed this somewhere. You can have conversations about it elsewhere. But yeah, she did disable comments and ratings on her YouTube page, which that is pretty lame. Like, I saw specifically Amazing Atheist complained about that. And I was like, what? Why? Like, what is his take on this video? And it wasn't so much about the video. It was more about that she did that, which is pretty lame. I didn't know that until like a few hours ago. That, like, that part of the conversation was shut down. Like, the defense being, you know, like, people on YouTube just have the most horrible conversations ever.
Okay, this is where I want to bring up a name of somebody I've been wanting to talk to for a while.
Yeah.
His name on Twitter and stuff is Mundane Matt.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of does like these weird rambly internet video sort of thing, almost like the Amazing Atheist without like production quality.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a podcast, really, with like
a video vlog.
A video vlog, but like just talking or whatever about his opinions and stuff. He's been following this Anita Sarkeesian thing for a while, and it's just gross because she was using those hateful comments. Like, misogyny is always gross. Let's just get that right out there. Just don't do it. I mean, fuck, people. Fuck. Anyways, so a bunch of people, because it's the internet, throw a bunch of stuff at her saying, get back in the kitchen, lick my balls, suck my fucking dick, you stupid whore, blah, 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 whatever they want to say. Because the internet.
Yeah,
right?
and like...
But that was her campaign. That fueled every feminist on the internet to get mad and support her. Like, and she threw herself into the damsel in distress, which is weird, because she is playing the victim, or played the victim, to get her name out there more.
Right.
And I don't know. It's just really gross because it's a catch-22. Without the internet, she wouldn't have had any fuel for the fire, and like she wouldn't be fueling more hatred from random people by doing it.
Like without the hate, this wouldn't have gotten as far as it did. So you kind of owe them something to get this much conversation going in the first place, right? Yeah. I guess I really didn't know any of the behind the scenes business. I just thought about the video content that was presented, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. You know, there's some good points there. You know,
the video's fine.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only thing is for a woman who's been written about in magazines about this series she's doing, who did a TED Talk, and who's been doing talks for like gaming stuff or whatever, with $151,000 of Kickstarter backing money for a fucking video series. I expected way more. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe it's also like partially a talking tour or something.
It could also just be an intro because it is a series and this is the first video. So maybe it'll get really, really good. But
someone had to make that animation of the title card.
And I'm also just kind of upset with people in general because, like, girl on the internet throw money at her. I hate people. God, that's so fucking annoying. The fact that she was just like, the fact that any woman ever just can count that a part of the male population is so sad and pathetic that they will throw money at them. Like, that's just gross.
I guess I haven't really read any of that. Like, we've had some conversations about gender stuff. Like, Regina is doing a study on her own about this sort of thing, right? Like, it's not like everyone's just getting crazy handouts just because of...
No, of course not.
Whatever.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember her name right now. Oh my god. Some Ultra Nico or Neko or whatever.
Okay.
Do you remember this person at all? She was one of the real early original YouTube personalities. Basically, she got a whole bunch of like games from fans and stuff, a bunch of money. She just did like videos of her playing a game and almost like Angry Video Game Nerd style and giving a review of it.
Yeah.
But she would always wear tank tops and like she had bigger than normal breasts and the whole package sort of thing or whatever. She had glasses, so she appealed to those weird freaks as well.
I have a bit of a glass.
I do too. That's why.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's okay. No, that's why it's okay that I say it.
Oh, okay.
But basically, if we found out about 3 years later that the boyfriend she was with, he actually played the video games, did all the video game footage, and wrote out for what she would say, and he just filmed her doing it, so when they broke up, her channel died. But it was at the point where she was getting backstage passes and access to, like, people in the industry to interview and stuff like that. She was huge.
Yeah.
And it was all because it was a girl. Like, literally, because everything that was written and everything was a guy.
Yeah, no, that's, like, now you're just kind of stirring up, like, yeah, like, what was that? There was an Ubisoft-sponsored gaming team that was all female. And, like, that was...
Oh, yeah, Frag Dolls?
The Frag Dolls, yeah. And then there was that producer of Assassin's Creed 1 that was kind of really thrust into the spotlight.
Jade
like,
Raymond.
Look, yeah, like, a girl's producing this game. And it's just like, well, she's really not making that many creative... A girl's producing this game! Like, it was just like, okay. Like, it is kind of embarrassing that, like, there's this kind of weird swing and, like, there's a lot of swinging happening.
No, I don't want...
But
I don't want you to get the wrong idea. If you're a girl and you can pull that off, whatever. If you're a guy and you fall for that, you're a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Like, that's what I'm getting at.
Like, if you're not going to actually listen, like that you're already on board just because of their gender.
The thing is,
you're not really...
I don't blame them for using any of their assets to get ahead in life. I'm blaming other people for being stupid enough to fucking fall for it.
Right. I mean, this has kind of been just that ongoing, like, there's been a lot of feminist discussion in relation to video games in the last, like, 12 months, it seems.
Feminism this last year is the new, like... What was the one before?
It's the new Gangnam Style. Like, it's just so hot right now. It's crazy. Like, it's
feminism's so hot right now.
Yeah, so just all these videos everywhere. To be clear, I am aware that Harlem Shaking is happening, but I didn't want to, point to that as a thing. But anyway, Sorry, now I'm just on my...
Feminism is a new Coney 2012.
Actually, that's probably a better comparison, because it's like a little shrill and a little overrepresented, maybe.
Except we're not paying to send soldiers to kill children.
Yeah. Remember that? Like, that was its own video hype thing that happened. That was so crazy. But, okay.
I remember feeling like a bad person when that came out, because I was just like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah, I was immediately like, no. And then there was a lot of people yelling at me for being like, dude, what? He's killing kids. And you're just like, okay, on the world stage, this is barely a problem. This is like kind of just seems like making a mountain out of a molehill. This is barely an issue. Look at this research. You know, like this is already over. And yeah, I flipped out when that happened. But at the same time, it was kind of neat to be there for like the birth of that meme.
Yeah.
Because like I was there like the night after it started going really wide on Twitter. I was like flipping out and went down to the university and was just like telling people like, don't fall for this crap. It's crap.
Yeah.
Don't listen to it. And then like, they're like, I haven't even heard of it yet. You will. And then like a week later, everyone was like, wow, yeah, dude, that video has been everywhere now. I don't know. Everyone keeps talking about it. It's just like, yeah, right. I knew it. So yeah, I felt like I was through the looking glass. I was on the other side. I went to campus security and I was like, there's going to be people putting up weird, dumb posters. Just get ready. And
dude, you were a narc.
I was just like, I'm going to shut this stuff down before it happens.
Oh my god.
I'm Dustin Hoffman in All the President's Men. It was me.
Oh. There's going to be dudes here. They're going to come with spray cans and they're going to write Tony everywhere.
And they don't even know why they're doing it, man.
Flies are saying fucking narc thin.
Narc thin. That's me. But whatever, over something like that, I'll totally narc someone out. Like, it's not even a specific person. Like, it's like if someone was like into like, no, dude, I'm really interested in this Coney thing, I would have a conversation with them. But it was more that like there was like people just slapping paper up everywhere that just said Coney 2012.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what are you doing? Do you even know what you're doing?
Or how they vandalized the fucking Boston Massacre monument.
Oh,
that's so gross.
Yeah,
I still have that picture somewhere.
There was like, I mean, it was less important stuff, but yeah, there was definitely some stuff spray painted on various bridges and junk around here. It's just like
on the way to the movie theater, I still have a picture of that on my phone.
Yeah, we're leaving Battleship, and we're just like, what the fuck? And it says Coney on the bridge.
On the bridge, yeah, the walkway.
Right. So feminism is the new that. That's an oversimplification. Like, it is an issue. Like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be looked at in this. Like, I guess, yeah, the biggest issue is she's kind of shutting down part of that conversation preemptively.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, it's like, yeah, a lot of bullshit will get said on YouTube. That's YouTube. Everyone knows that.
Well,
you know?
I watched that Amazing Atheist video, too, and he is that dude doesn't censor anything.
Yeah, like, just talk about it. Just like, you have issue with me, you'll shout me out in the comments, and I'll shout back.
To the point where he stuck a banana in his ass, and that got leaked on the internet, and he admitted to it. Like, he doesn't censor anything.
Yeah, no, I didn't know the specifics of it, but he said, like, there was some weird sexual stuff of me out on the internet, and you know what?
Which is funny, because there's that video that's, like, the atheist's worst nightmare, the banana, where, like, people are just like, well, if, like, there's no God, how do you explain the shape of a banana? And that whole sort of thing. There's nothing else in nature like it, or stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just kind of funny, because, you know, Amazing Atheist, like, atheist's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There you go.
There you go. But, yeah, I was actually, initially, I've seen some kind of really ill-conceived rebuttals to some of the stuff she brings up in the video. Like, it would just be kind of like, well, all stories are stupid anyway, so what does it matter if it's like, you know, the woman's in this role and the guy's in that role, that, you know, the stories aren't the focus anyway.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, it's so lazy and there's so many examples. Like, that's not a great reason. Like, that's not a, like, get out of jail card on this. Like, it's just like, people should probably think about that, how simplistic that is. Like, and the Dinosaur Planet thing, it's weird to see how often that game has come up in the past month. But I guess specifically in relation to, I found an old t-shirt and a friend of the site made a video about that game and Dinosaur Planet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that actually called Dinosaur Planet?
It was, yeah.
Cause like, okay, yeah, no. There's this old miniseries called Dinotopia. That was like a big deal on network television, and it's like people like talking dinosaurs, and I watched that.
Yeah.
It's not very good. But anyway, Yeah, just to see like the dinosaur plant stuff come up as an example, and then like their response was just like, well, Miyamoto, like the context was a little different. He didn't really quite say it quite like that. It's more because of the art style or whatever, and like it still seems weird that a female protagonist was taken out of that role. Like, is she going to bring up good examples too? Like, what about Beyond Good and Evil or something?
I don't know. I hope so, but she won't bring it up with this trope though.
Right, because this is focusing on the problems.
Right, exactly.
Like Samus or whatever.
That Mundane Matt guy also did another video where he was talking about how she edited the tropes video, so like it looks weirder than it actually is. She took out a whole part, so it just looks like crystals in the tube, and then Fox is like, wow, like drooling over her.
Yeah.
But like she took something out that apparently makes that have more reasonable context, where Fox isn't just a pig.
Well, I haven't played that game in like a decade, so
I don't know. I haven't played it ever.
I didn't know there was saxophone in it though. That was more
That's like, pretty good.
Oh, that's legit. Like I thought that was them. Like they put that in, and it's just like, no, that was actually in the game. Like there's just smoky saxophone as he looks at her, and it's just like, wow, video games, amazing.
I think but like just backtracking a little bit, I think the biggest problem is that if you were trying to open up something to discussion, you can't censor discussion.
Right. Like in her description of the video, she says, hey, go ahead and have discussions elsewhere. Like,
no, that's fucking stupid. That's so dumb.
It is pretty stupid. Yeah. It's kind of disappointing. I generally do get disappointed anytime anyone opts to shut down the conversation.
Yeah.
Because, like, who cares? Like, at some point you just become, like, immune to that. It's just like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay, here we go. And then you just click yes on a joke or something that someone noticed or thought was funny.
Right.
Or, like, there's a good conversation happening amidst nonsense. And it's pretty easy at some point to just ignore that nonsense.
And it's just so weird that somebody talking about the damsel in distress problem, just like, I don't know, not facing up to real life. Maybe she isn't a strong enough role model that people should even be listening to her. Yeah. Honestly. Like, I'm sure Felicia Day hears a bunch of bullshit all the time. She doesn't censor stuff. I don't know. Whatever. This is... Maybe we should do a Breaking Balls on this.
Maybe. It's definitely a big enough touchstone in recent discussion.
We'll see if we could get Regina and Lauren in on it.
Okay.
We'll do a round table.
Yeah, like, I mean, to its credit, though, like, it has started some conversations, right? Like, on Facebook, there was a post about it. That's how I was shown it.
Okay.
And, so, like, there are conversations happening out and about on the internet, but there's no central battleground at all. So, it is weird to kind of step out of that whole part of it. It's kind of, I don't know. It was an okay video, though. Like, Peach was wearing overalls. That was funny. Because that never happens.
I think.
I guess in relation to Zelda, they specifically called out a bunch of the Zelda games as having problems or whatever with that. I feel like, I mean, Skyward Sword, you're still, you're Link, you're trying to rescue Zelda, but you're on an adventure, and Zelda for most of the game is actually on her own simultaneous adventure. Like, she's not kidnapped for most of it. Like, up to the point where I'm at 33 hours in, she has yet to be in any real trouble. Like, she's been, for the first part of the game, she's actually going and doing a bunch of stuff that she needs to do as her role as the descendant, like the current expression of this goddess or whatever. Like, Triforce shit, whatever. She's wisdom. She's got to do some stuff. I'm getting my courage on, going doing other stuff. And I don't know. They seem to be handling that dynamic a little better than they have in other ones. She's not the main character though, so that's still a thing. I guess you could create a character or something. But yeah. Super Princess Peach. I haven't played Super Princess Peach. I was looking for it the other day because it keeps getting cited as a bad example because apparently, like, they brought it up in this video too. Like, apparently it's not what you'd think. Like, she's actually fits a lot of gender stereotypes in there at the same time, but I've never played it, so I don't know. Is it even a good platformer? I have no idea. I haven't played it.
Cooking Mama.
Cooking Mama. Yep. Literally, get back in the kitchen. Like, just is the game.
I like Cooking Mama.
Cooking minigames could be fun, but...
What if it was not Cooking Mama, but it was like Chef Ramsay?
Or just hey, cooking zone, and you can just create your own character and you cook shit. Like, who cares?
But then would women be mad because men are taking over the kitchen, the only thing they have left?
I really hope not. I mean, there's a lot of male chefs. What do you mean?
Nothing. Never mind.
What? Misandry, yo. Come on.
Misandry.
Yeah, it's the opposite.
Miss Andry.
Miss Andry. Don't do that.
Don't do any of it.
Don't do either of those. Just don't be miss anything.
If there's an ism or ist after it, probably don't do it.
Yeah. Bronyism. Don't do it.
Not even once.
Not even once.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's a whole pot of cheese that's going on right now.
Dude, I want cheese.
Yeah. Dip bread in there. Fondue.
What do you feel like? What do you say about taking a little break for 5 minutes? I'm going to go get a drink and maybe we'll give some things out here.
Okay. Sounds good.
What did you get to drink?
I have this terrible whiskey that I inherited from this whole moving situation.
Okay, what type?
I don't really know. 18 something is written on it. Yeah.
Okay, I think I only have tequila, so this could be interesting real quick, depending on which tequila it is.
And then I was like, hey, I don't like how this tastes. I put some apple juice in it. So we'll see how that goes.
Gross. Alright, let me know, but I will be back.
You can barely taste the apple juice. What did you grab to drink, Paul? Crown Royal. See, that stuff's legit.
Too legit.
Next.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh. Need a little bit more of that right in there. It's not strong enough. I can still taste Coke.
Oh, so... Wait. Don't you want to taste Coke? Because Coke tastes better?
Not if you want to forget about your feelings, son.
Oh, okay. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword.
Yes.
It's still pretty good. I mean, I've put in 30 hours, though, like 33 hours, so now I'm kind of invested. I want to finish it. But there's definitely been just like a few things that over the course of the game have kind of started to wear a little bit on me. Like, specifically, you know the Zelda formula where it's like, hey, good job, you collected the 3 ancient crystals or whatever, but guess what? You gotta go get these other things. You know, like it kind of just keeps leading you on to go do more dungeons.
Yep.
At some point.
Yep.
This game has done that like twice now. Like I expected there to be like a halfway break where it's like, all right, I got the 3. I don't remember what they were at this point. Let me think. Oh, like there was these pieces of stone tablet. So I got those, and then I got the 3 fires to forge the Master Sword. So I got those, and then I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's fight this evil end thing. And then it kind of comes up and it's just like, hey, man, you got to go get the 3 pieces of the Ancient Heroes song. And then I was kind of just bummed out because now I have to go back to the same areas yet again and find the dragon and then talk to him. And that's fine. I like dragons. That's cool. But then the first dragon I rolled up on was just like, hey, do this bullshit underwater side quest before I'll give you the song. And it's just at some point, I don't like how narrow this path is and some of the stuff they force you to do.
So what you're saying is all 3D Zeldas are fucking bullshit.
No.
Oh.
But some of the stuff they make you do over the course of the...
I think that's just kind of newer video game tropes, though, where it's like, we need to keep the player engaged, so make them do a bunch of other stuff to keep them busy.
And, I do like me some variety. I've said it a bunch of times. Like, gameplay variety is a good thing in general. Like, that's cool to make me do a bunch of different stuff. Like, they threw in, like, a flying boss battle and stuff like that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But they already made me go through a water temple. And if they hadn't, like, designed that thing really well and included a really cool item, I would have been really pissed off with that dungeon, but I was okay with it. Right. But underwater stuff is still just such a dicey thing. Like, I don't know why they keep going back to that, as like, it's not very fun. Like in the way you're steering around with the motion in that instance is just not that engaging or enjoyable. So, or not so much enjoyable, but it just doesn't feel like anything special. It's just like you're awkwardly guiding yourself around underwater and trying to get air bubbles as you're swimming around getting these notes, and it was not a good, like, I got through it though. Like, I was trying to, like, I was at school earlier today just kind of thinking, like, oh yeah, what do I have to do in Zelda? Oh, right, that's why I stopped playing, because, like, that is in there. Like, there's all these kind of, like, little roadblocks along the way. Some dungeons are great, some stuff they make you do is great, some of the side stuff is cool. I still like going and collecting things and using my equipment to get to weird, tricky areas and whatever, but some of the stuff is just kind of annoying. And I guess the other thing is there's this whole potential in the game to have a lot of cool skydiving stuff. Like, you're flying around on your bird, and then you can just jump off at any point. However, if you try to do that over the main hub area, like Skyloft, which is this little town, like, you'll be heading towards a specific spot that you want to land, and then it'll cut to, like, a load. And then by the time you come back, you're, like, falling in a completely different preset area. It's just
okay.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to land on this one island that has a secret treasure chest. But then when I go to do that in this one spot, it'll just be like, no. You're actually over here. And it's just like, I wanted to drop on that thing. Like, why can't I do that? It just seems a little...
So you just have to do it over and over and hope it loads that one?
No. I think it's like, no, you have to go through this completely other way to get up there.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, it doesn't want me to just drop onto the island. It wants me to do some bullshit stuff in Skyloft to, like, hook shot over there or something. Or, sorry, claw shot, because it's different.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like... And I only just unlocked, like, this whole side quest system that's in the game. Like, at hour 30 or something, I finally figured out that, like, once you do this first side quest that the game does introduce to you really early on, I just ignored it. Like, that's on me, I guess. But once you do that, it unlocks this whole other system in the game where you collect gratitude crystals and turn them into this weird guy and get, like, a bunch of secret items. Like a bigger wallet and stuff. And I was just like, oh man, I've been wasting so much time. I could have been doing all this stuff, like, while I was doing other things. But I don't know. It's still like a big epic adventure. I still really like how it looks and how it controls. And it has me, like, so much more interested in dumb motion controls, because, like, they're not as gimmicky as I thought they were initially. Like, they actually really engage you with the game in a different way. So I've, like, been asking preliminary questions about, like, should I get a move? Like, will I get something out of that? Like, have you ever played PlayStation Move stuff?
Yeah, I have a move.
Is it cool? Is it fun?
No.
Oh.
It's a move controller.
Have you played Killzone 3 with it?
Yes.
Oh, is that not fun? Like, I've heard that was kind of neat.
It's not great.
Oh.
Maybe if I had, like, the Killzone gun they give you that has, like, the shoulder thing where you can put it up, the shoulder stock and everything.
Yeah. I was at EB this week, and $10, dude. We'll get you one of those. And
we'll get us one, and we will stream us playing with it while drinking, because feelings are bad.
Sure. I've been, like, bummed out. I bought Killzone 3, so if I can somehow reinvigorate that game through doofy motion stuff, I'll totally play that game. So yeah, I'll buy that gun and bring it over sometime.
Great.
Like, if you got the move, I didn't know you had the move. I'm in this weird, awkward spot where I have the camera, and that's it, because I wanted to play SingStar on camera.
Dude, I played a lot of SingStar.
Yeah, that Chewbacca guy was awesome. He was one of the internet's greatest heroes for like a week.
Agreed.
But yeah, I haven't played I had to delete a bunch of SingStar because I had to download Vanquish.
Yeah.
I went into this kind of rant on top-down perspective already, but like the way PlayStation deals with its hard drive is so frustrating. Because it's like, yo, you got 60 gigs. actually, you have like 20.
Yeah, that PlayStation hard drive is terrible. Like, I hate that because especially with the 60 gig, it's like, oh, I bought a 60 gig. Oh, you only have like 30.
And I don't know where that space is being taken up. Like, I don't see any real good, like, master list of all the junk you have. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to delete Dust513. That's got to free up some space, right? Oh, it's 6 gigs. So yeah, that'll be enough. And it's just like, no, it's not enough. Because my understanding is not only do you need to download like the 12 gigs, it then has to unpack that stuff, which takes up like twice as much space to do. So 12 gigs equals 21 gigs in order to actually get Vanquish. And to top it off, I immediately thought Vanquish was really stupid, and I'm not sure I'm going to play it. So
okay, yeah, because I haven't, like, I own it, an actual disc copy of it.
yeah,
And I haven't put it in yet. I played the demo, and I liked the demo. I didn't love it.
yeah.
So I've been wondering if I should even bother. But I mean, I have so much goddamn time on my hands now. Why not?
It's like supposed to be like 4 hours long or something at best, so it's probably worth taking a look at. But I don't know. I was just like rocket booting around and shooting stuff, and this fiction seems so stupid that like it's on one level like I appreciate that Platinum is irreverent and goofy, but at the other time like you're wasting my time. Like comedy isn't that funny this way. Like Bayonetta isn't that hilarious that it sustains itself. Like at some point you need to give me something to care about. And yeah, like I'm still pretty apprehensive about Metal Gear Rising. Like people are saying pretty nice things about it, but I'm probably gonna wait until it's like $20. I just don't care enough to really look into it until it's like, oh, it's a trivial expense. Sure, why not? I'll play that now.
You know what game is amazing though? Donkey Kong.
Wait, Donkey Kong is really hard, but it's pretty good. I played it mostly on the N64. Donkey Kong 64 includes it just as like a bonus unlockable.
Yeah.
So I played most of my stuff on there.
You know that Slim Shady fellow, that M&M?
I mean, he was trash talking ICP a lot, so I kind of heard about him through that.
Through the grapevine. Yeah, through the Juggalo network.
Like
there.
all us Juggalos know like that he's kind of talking mess because I guess he's jealous.
A Juggalo and a Brony. It's like you're just really trying to get everyone to hate you, aren't you?
I'm not actually a Juggalo, but I am following a guy called Juggalo Brony for life.
Amazing. Okay.
So that is
wait,
one of the heroes.
is it a 4? Like a number 4?
I think it's a 4, and it might also be a Y in life, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, hold on. So Juggalo, Brony, 4. Where's 4? Wait, Juggalo Goth is his name?
No, Juggalo Goth sounds like a pretty great, self-inflicted.
Dude, I think this is him. It has to be.
Okay, maybe he changed his name. People are changing their name on Twitter all the time. I don't do that.
He says Juggalo and Gothic.
Oh, no. Juggalo Brony for life is still here. Oh, wait, at Juggalo Goth. Yeah, this is him.
Okay, Juggalo and Gothic. Android, PS3, and Nintendo Fanatic.
Yeah.
I'm a columnist for GameSource.
Yeah.
My followers get Juggalo and the latest gaming news.
Yeah.
I have just followed him because he seems like an interesting fellow. Oh, wait, you might also want to follow Hatchet Boy 69, Juggalo for life. There you go. So if you're listening to this right now, you should probably look up Hatchet Boy 69. The O in boy is actually a 0.
Yeah.
And
the classiest of internet numbers.
And his most recent post, fuck the pain, or fuck till the pain go away like the Vicodin.
Wait, what? I'm any update on the PSN update.
Wait. Fuck the pain, go away like the Vicodin. There you go. Words of advice from Hatchet Boy with a 069.
Yeah.
Anyways, what we were getting at is that apparently Eminem is actually a really good Donkey Kong player.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like if you look in your Skype chat, and I threw it in the main chat there
I'm looking at the link right now. Yeah, Donkey Blog.
It's pretty amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to read the quick excerpts here. Basically, on December 3rd, 2009, Marshall Eminem Mathers made the following tweet. I just want everyone to see my actual new high Donkey Kong score. Weeby beware. And his score is 272,300.
272,300?
300. But then you go down a little bit more, and he said another one on March 30th, 2010. He was like, to my fellow Congers, peep the new high score. Just imagine if I had more free time. Ellipses, ellipses, ellipses.
Yeah.
And then he said that his top score is 465,800.
Yeah.
Now,
that's no kill screen, but that's still pretty good.
Like,
that's a lot better than I've ever done.
I'm going to quickly read the analysis they have on the page here for people that don't know. So, just how good is Eminem, and how does he approach the game on a strategic basis? It's hard to say from just one photo, but we can deduce at least a few things. We can see that Eminem's game ended on level 13. We don't know which specific screen, but the following can be asserted in any case. A score of 465,800 anywhere on level 13 is a game on pace to reach the kill screen with no more than 875,000 points. This, in turn, suggests a conservative playing style that generally eschews point pressing, specifically this is way too... Basically, he's not really close to anything, but he's further than a lot of normal people, so he's decent.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good then.
In the article,
hold on. Is Weeby even the current record holder though? I thought Billy Mitchell took it back. And then some Asian guy took it from them.
Yeah. So see, it's kind of weird because
apparently
he got super into Donkey Kong ever since watching King of Kong.
It's a good movie,
which is hilarious. He bought the cabinet and got Weeby to sign it for him.
That's awesome.
So he's so into it.
Weeby's like the underdog in the whole situation, so I get that he's kind of the focal point, but I'm pretty sure some totally third party who started playing like 5 years ago is actually the current record holder, but I'm not sure. What's that website? Galaxy something?
This website that we're looking at? Oh, Twin Galaxies?
The record, Twin Galaxies.
Twin Galaxies, yeah.
I'm going to check what the current record is.
The website for the news article will be in the show notes, but it's Donkey Kong blog at blogspot.ca. So for all your Donkey Kong needs, you have to go to Donkey Kong blog at blogspot.ca. It's the only source for Donkey Kong news.
This was like years ago, dude.
I know.
Is he still?
I don't know.
You just caught wind of it. Okay.
Yeah. Like, are you looking at the recent comments there within the last few months?
Dude, Twin Galaxy's website is way pimper than it ever was before.
What it used to be before was almost like if you've ever seen an FTP page where it's just literally like text with links.
Yeah. This is I guess post that movie, they've gotten enough traffic to kind of been like, whoa, we need to pay attention. But yeah, they got like Tomb Raider coverage and shit. This is awesome. Really? Good job, Galaxies. Way to embrace the future.
Especially, like, is it weird to ask if that old dude that was running it is dead finally?
I don't know if he's dead, but he's definitely retired. He's doing music and stuff, right?
I don't know.
Oh wow, dude, points hammer allowed. The no hammer challenge is also a subset of Donkey Kong players.
So what you're saying is that Weeby and Mitchell are bitches.
Oh man, they are so bitches now. Steve Weeby is number 5. Billy Mitchell is number 6.
Where is Marshall Mathers?
Marshall Mathers. Hold on.
I don't honestly. I think it even says in the article his score isn't high enough to be on Twin Galaxy's top 10.
No, dude, it's not high enough to be on top 10. But if what you're saying is true, he'd be number 37 if he submitted his score officially. That's not bad. That's pretty good. He'd be on this board I'm looking at right now. This is the top 100. Hank Chien is the number 1 at 1,138,600. Vincent LeMay is number 2. Jeff Wilms, Dean Staglio, and then the famous Steve Weeby with 1,064,500.
Also, in the link that I just sent to everybody and that will be in the show notes, 50 Cent says Eminem cheats at Pac-Man, dog.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Rat beef over video games.
So that line specifically in that song he did with Rihanna, "Life ain't no Nintendo game," it's because you can't cheat it. There you go, Eminem. You can't cheat life like the way you cheat at Pac-Man, you dirty white fuck. Wait, I'm white too. You whack fuck.
I thought they were both in the G Unit. Aren't they in that game Bulletproof?
That game's good.
I have that
No,
game.
wait, Blood on the Sand's the one I like. I
Yeah,
have never
Blood
played
on the
Bullet.
Sand is good. I own Bulletproof. I've heard it's terrible.
So, marathon of Bulletproof forthcoming on pixel-response.com.
We should do all of these things. I'll bring over my Killzone gun. We'll play some rap video games. This is school, though. I have to finish school, Paul. Gotta be responsible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like 1 month. One more month, and I'll be done. I'll have a piece of paper that I don't care about. E3.
Yeah.
Woo!
Then we'll get together and have a gay old time.
Yeah.
Have some alcohol and video cameras running.
Speaking of our like antiquated version, sorry, antiquated uses of the word gay, I read The Hobbit recently,
Okay.
and that fits right
Weird.
in time. It's good. I like that book.
That book is really good, but it's just kind of weird that it's like, yeah, I read The Hobbit again.
I read The Hobbit again. I haven't read it in a long time. That movie is basically doing everything. Like, as near as I could tell. Except one thing. They changed Azog. You know, like that pale orc. He shouldn't be there. It should be like his grandson or something, but whatever. I'm not that bent out of shape about that.
There's more of a revenge plot, though, if you have the original.
Right. What do you mean, the original?
The original White Orc.
Oh, yeah. Like, it makes it a little more, like, tied together. Because, like, yeah, Thorin didn't fight him. It was his grandfather or something, too. But, like, it's kind of weird how the book handles that stuff. Because there's, like, by the way, this guy's descendant was also at this big fight at the end. But if they make those characters more kind of fleshed out and more kind of, like, Thorin versus Azog, like, that's a better team-up than, like, the grandson of that guy versus the grandson of this guy. They're also going to fight.
Yeah,
It's
because
less-
family hatred.
Right. I'm still kind of confused how they're going to handle the death of the dragon, because that's kind of trivial in the book.
Right.
You know? Like, he is killed by just some guy named Bard, like some side character.
Yeah.
And then that's because that's not the thing. That triggers this big battle over, like, who gets that treasure hoard. So then there's, like, 5 or 6, arguably, armies fighting over this thing. And that's kind of what's going to set up. Like, I think that's going to take up most of the third movie.
Right.
Because, like, people are kind of like, wait, how are you going to pace this out to fill 3 movies? That final battle is going to be, like, such a big event.
It's going to be a full movie. Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I'm totally down with that. Because
Totally. It's a battle for Middle Earth.
Right, and it's like, it touches on a lot of cool thematic stuff, too. Like, it's like, there's a quote Thorin has about, like, if only people were more like The Hobbit, you know, like, they were more about good cheer and good drink and good food versus gold, the world would be a happier place.
Yeah.
Like, that's a great note to end that story on, because it's like, Bilbo recognizes that this is not, like, this treasure thing could kill everybody that he cares about. If they're going to, like, really dig in their heels and fight over this, this is not worth it. You know, and he ends up taking, like, a small percentage of the treasure just because he recognizes that stuff. It's really great. Like, the evolution of Bilbo as a character is pretty awesome. I
do like Bilbo quite a bit.
Yeah. Like, 270 pages, you get, like, such a tight, satisfying adventure versus kind of like the sprawling nonsense of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I like Lord of the Rings, but
there's too many characters and their own personal motives and stuff, though, with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it's juggling so much stuff, it's hard to keep track of it all.
Which is kind of funny, because there's arguably more characters you should care about in The Hobbit. But it's just like they're all going for the same thing. So it's the same story. You're not jumping around.
It's kind of weird. Like, they have 14 people in their party in that story, but, like, really only 6 of them matter. Like, they kind of shove aside most of the dwarves in favor of just like, well, we can't really keep track of that many people. There's basically Thorin, Balin, Bombur, Gandalf, and Bilbo, and maybe, like, Philly or Killy, like one of those guys. Like, those are the only ones they really have dialogue, and everyone else is kind of just extra people. Which is, it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know why the party is that big, but I guess it makes sense that, like, at the end they have to kind of defend the Dragon's Keep for a little bit on their own. So maybe you want more people in there, but I don't know. That I'm still really happy with like how this movie thing is going to pan out. Like I'm annual event like Lord of the Rings was a decade ago. Like just every December you have at least one movie you kind of want to go check out. That's great. That's going to be awesome. Like the first one, I'm kind of bummed out. It's coming out on Blu-ray this quickly. Like in like less than a week, it's going to be available. Like. Yeah. I was kind of hoping to check it out in theaters one more time because back when Fellowship came out, I was just going to the theater continually.
How about if I buy it and then you pay me to watch it?
What? I think I'm honestly going to probably go to the second run theater in town to check it out one more time, just to kind of get a little, like, not the 48 frames 3D experience, but at least some.
The Movie Dome?
Movie Dome's closed. They're gone.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Canyon Meadows is the only remaining one. But,
Movie Dome was great.
Movie Dome got kind of grungy, but yeah, I saw, like, you know, harkening back to the early...
Movie Dome's like the only place in Calgary you could get a blowjob while watching a movie, and nobody's around.
Nobody's there, yeah, it's true.
Nobody's there.
Meadows
it almost happened during Jeepers Creepers 2.
Speaking of Jeepers Creepers...
Yeah.
I watched a movie called Peaceful Warrior.
Okay, yeah.
Which was directed by the same guy, Victor Salva.
Yeah. I've never seen it. Is it good?
It was actually way more engaging than I was like prepared for. Because I was like, I don't care about the Olympics. I don't care about like any of this crap. Gymnastics, really?
I don't care about Victor Salva. Like this is all.
Nope. Well, okay. Probably the only piece of the puzzle that I was remotely interested in was old Nick Nolte is kind of cool.
Right.
Like, he seems to have figured out, like, a certain thing he can do really well. And, like, I really want to see Warrior because of that.
I really want to see Warrior because I hear from everybody it's really good.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to review that movie, and I just kind of put it so far in the back of my mind, I forgot what day it was and missed it.
You fucked up?
I fucked up, apparently, because apparently it's like a totally fantastic underdog sports movie. But, and I can go for that every now and then. But this movie, he plays like this weird, like wise old guru guy who works at a gas station and just kind of trains this young gymnast to be better than he would have been otherwise. Like he just kind of wanders there at 2 a.m, sees this old guy, and then he jumps on top of the gas station somehow magically. Style almost.
Amazing.
It happens off screen though. Like it's just like you cut to him sitting on a bench. He looks away, looks back. All of a sudden he's on top of this like 40-foot building. You're just like, what? And yeah, I don't know. I missed part of the movie because like full transparency, I was working at a casino that night.
Wait, what?
Yeah. As part of my job as a janitor, apparently, the community center I work at is financed by casino money.
Oh, right. Yes, you told me about this.
Right. And the percentage your community gets is based entirely on, like, how needy your community is, I guess, in, like, terms of average GDP and all this stuff. So our community does pretty good on that front. But we have to volunteer and fill in some certain spots. It's kind of ridiculous the low level of responsibility you have there. Like, it's basically like, hey, we have chips, we have a plush leather couch, cable TV, infinite drinks, we'll write off your food expenses for the night. You basically need to be here, though, for like 8 hours, and like 4 or 5 times over the course of the night, we'll call you out to the casino floor to basically double check our counts. Like, that's it.
Wow.
That's all you do. And, like, initially I was, like, kind of bummed out because I was like, man, I wish I brought a book or something because this is so much downtime. But it kind of reintroduced me to just broadcast television.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, weird. Yeah, there's, like, a whole percentage of people that they don't really decide exactly what show they want to watch that night. It's like, hey, what's on tonight? Oh, Person of Interest. Okay.
Was it any good?
It was okay. It kind of reminded me of the movie Identity. Like, it's just kind of like a bunch of people are trapped in a small environment, and one of them's a killer. And which one is it? I don't know. Like, who's pulling the strings? Who's not who they say they are?
Me.
And it was like a slasher movie or something. It was basically like someone in this crew is not to be trusted, Is it Jim Caviezel? Is it Michael Emerson? No, of course not. It's this other guy. You know, because they're the main characters. Oh, also Jim Caviezel is doing his like worst Batman impression or best Batman impression the whole time.
Do a Batman impression right now.
Well, like the swear to me.
Swear to me.
Yeah, that kind of voice, but just kind of in normal dialogue. So it's like, I work for the FBI. I'm doing missions. And you're just like, why are you talking like that?
My name is Paul. I'm unemployed, and I like to talk on the internet.
Yeah. I was Jesus in a movie 10 years ago, and it kind of ruined my career. Like, it's like that. It's basically that. And I don't know. That show seems fine. I like some of the people. Like, I like Michael Emerson quite a bit. But, like, there was a moment in that show where a dude gets shot, goes down. Like, 2 minutes later, they realize, wait, he had a bulletproof vest. They turn around, he gets up again, only to be shot again. This time in the back, so he dies. Like, it was just so silly. It was like murder mystery of the week, but why would I ever watch this, like, in an ongoing basis? I don't know. It was also the first time I've seen a full episode of Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And, like, I won't say I hated it, but it was just so bland and generic.
It's pretty bland. Did you know that on the Playboy channel, they also have a show called The Big Bang Theory?
That's perfect, because banging is like boning, and yeah.
I think it was probably like a movie or something, but there wasn't even a change in the name, so there wasn't any funny pun or wordplay. It was just called Big Bang Theory. So I was like, what's it doing on this channel? Oh, Jesus. That's that channel. Oh, okay.
This is not what I expected.
I didn't ask for this.
I think my biggest issue with the show is it's so indistinct in terms of what happened.
Okay.
That it would be kind of like my problem with some Family Guy episodes where it's be like, I don't even know what episode I saw because I don't remember anything about what the story was about. I just remember like a joke.
See, my problem with it is that it archetypes real people that deal with like real problems people face, like autism and Asperger's syndrome and just like that sort of thing, and social anxieties. And it makes it a joke where you're supposed to be, the audience is pulled in by Penny, the idiot, quote unquote, of the group. Yeah. But like, she's the quote unquote normal one. So that's the one the audience is supposed to side with. So everything else is weird and funny and ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah. Specifically Sheldon, like, I've only seen one episode, so this is only like a cursory glance at anything that the show is.
Yeah.
But he seemed like such a petty, angry character in a way that, like, you know, like Abed in Community is also has Asperger's ostensibly.
Right.
Like, there's so many more, like, aspects to his personality that I can relate to, like, relating to the world through pop culture and all this stuff. Like, there's a character there that I really, really like. And I don't know, like, maybe there's more to Sheldon than I've seen in, like, the latest episode of this show.
Do you think maybe that has to do something with their different, like, upbringings, if we were to consider them real people? Because Abed would obviously be from an Indian family, which grew up either Hindi or Muslim, probably.
Or Polish, partially.
Or actually. Polish. Okay, there you go. But, Sheldon's family grew up in Texas, and, as, like, devout Catholic.
Maybe.
So, like, it's this whole thing that, like, because he was different, he was beaten up a lot and picked on in school and stuff, and apparently God was supposed to make everything better. And as a scientist, it's just like, well, there's no such thing.
Right, right. There was so little nuance to the characters in the episode I saw. It seemed like the main story was basically like, the three main guy characters are concerned with...
There's 4 of them.
Is there 4?
Yeah. There is Sheldon, Leonard, Raj, and Howard. Howard is a stereotypical Jew. Raj is the Indian with social anxiety. Sheldon's the Asperger guy. And the other guy is just the, like, I'm trying to fit in, but I'm a nerd. There's no other real problem with me.
Right, right. I don't think Raj factored into this episode much. There was definitely a scene where he was there, but I don't think he was rolling with them during their lecture. Main thing they're doing is lecturing at like a high school or something to try to encourage girls to go into the sciences. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, the girls are going to Disneyland to get makeovers. And I don't know, like the joke it ended on, like the stinger during the credits was basically like, two of the three guys, they get back, their girlfriend is dressed up in some elaborate Disney costume, and they're like, oh, this is awesome role-playing sexual thing. This is great. You know, like, she's dressed up as Cinderella. I've always wanted this. Hooray. Whereas Sheldon is just like, great, I don't want to do that. Like, she's dressed up as Snow White or something. And
dude, I would fuck the shit out of Snow White.
I know! So I was kind of annoyed with him with that ending joke. It's just like, so he's just kind of an asshole to his girlfriend? Is that kind of the joke?
No, it's because he's totally asexual, and since he's autistic, he just doesn't. Like, he doesn't see women as, like, objects of anything. He would see them like you and I would see another man. Where it's just like, they're just a person.
Where, like, you know, there's an episode of Community where Abed is basically disinterested in girls, except everyone wants him to have a girlfriend in the group, so he kind of puts on this madman persona and tries to kind of appeal to some of them. But
doesn't he as well in that episode, like all of them?
He really impresses Annie, I think.
Annie's, oh fuck, I love Annie.
Yeah. No, Alison Brie's pretty great. I guess also I've been trying to catch up a bit on the most recent season of Community lately.
I haven't seen the last two still. I just kind of don't want to.
I think I'm still one behind. And yeah, it's so weird because it's like so subtly different. And again, I'm not sure if it's just a psychological thing knowing that the key showrunner is gone. But something about the way it plays out just isn't quite right. And it's not horribly wrong. You know, like, it's not, like, offensively bad. It's just not very funny. It's just kind of weird. It's just like, all right, well, that happened. You know, like, that's more or less what a Community episode would look at. But I don't really care. And I don't know what's happened. Like, it's just, it's lost a certain aloofness or subtlety to it that it's more explicit about what it's doing now, and I don't like that. I'm not really sure. It's hard to articulate what I feel, but I definitely feel the show has gotten a little bit preoccupied with being more transparent in a way I don't really love. And yeah, it's hard. Like, the same characters are there, the same cast and everything. They're making pop culture references. Like, there was a whole Doctor Who thing because they do Inspector Spacetime.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, that episode just didn't, like, there was no moment I can really latch onto be like, that was really funny. Like, that was a really great thing they did. The most recent one, too, they kind of bring back the German characters from the foosball episode.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. You saw the foosball episode. Did you see the follow-up?
Kind of. Like, where they were just doing, like, the techno sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I fell asleep during it because it was boring.
Yeah, it was just kind of okay. That was an episode that with those characters. Like, I'm not sure. Like, there's yet to be one episode this season that's kind of been
that's like, a standout. That, like, yeah, this is their return to form. This is great.
Right. Like, everything's still in order. Like, it's not like everything is completely fallen apart, but nothing is quite as polished as it once was. Like, it's a little purposeless. I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, I guess back to Big Bang Theory. Like, that said, like, it didn't really do much for me, but it didn't really upset me. Like, there was a lazy Soul Calibur joke in there about boobs, you know, because that's, you know, like, whatever, though. That's a thing popular culture at large might not be familiar with, that fighting games are ridiculously sexually objectifying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just, like, insane. Ivy, specifically, they kind of call out as being absurd, which is fine. That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, that's why she was made, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, you can just see the boardroom of, like, men designing that. It's just like,
I think I'm okay with it. I don't know if you know this about me.
Yeah.
Boobs are the most important thing in my life.
Oh, okay. Boobs are pretty good.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good. I think you're creepy. But the thing
They're pretty good
is, like, I spent 8 hours at that casino, right? The topic of conversation of Big Bang Theory came up, like, 3 separate times organically with, like, 40 plus people. Like, they were just like, oh man, the new Big Bang Theory's on tonight. I was just like, oh, okay. Like, it was like, I became aware, like, oh wow, this is, like, a big pop culture thing.
Yeah,
like,
I worked with, like, my shift supervisor back at Menzies. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say the name out now. I worked at Menzies Aviation here in Calgary, Alberta, so there you go. But,
Look it up, Paul Fleck.
Yeah, I mean, my address is on the internet somewhere, too. I'm not gonna say where, but
Right.
like, people
If
can
you want
find
to know, you can.
I kind of don't care. I've never
Okay.
cared.
Yeah, no, I've been pretty transparent about that too.
But
Google Krasnor, you'll see a lot of stuff. Okay.
But my shift supervisor or whatever, we used to hang out together because we both started at 5. And like from 5 to 7, it was literally just us in the building. Mm-hmm. So like we would just sit there and smoke or whatever on the days where it was just boring in the warehouse. And
tobacco or
what's that?
Smoking tobacco or
tobacco? Yes, we don't. I don't actually do narcotics of any kind.
Okay,
except alcohol, I guess, which I'm on right now.
I am as well, and it's kind of fun.
It's making it a little hard, but anyways, I was going to go on a weird tangent with that. Okay. Anyways, no. So every Thursday, Big Bang Theory would come on at night, but then every Friday I would hear about the episode from him, and it was just so unfunny when someone else is telling you about it.
Yeah.
That it's just really annoying because I would still like to watch it at that point, where it's like, I kind of want to see like it and see the weird jokes or whatever. But it was just this weird thing where this like 53-year-old man and I have something to talk about that's on TV that we both enjoy.
Yeah, like at some point it is communicating some of this stuff I'm kind of passionate about poorly, but at least it's letting people know like, hey, 20-something-year-old people play Xbox a lot or something. You're just like, okay, you know.
Well,
like,
the weird thing is like he would always say how his kid is having problems with his Xbox or whatever, or that like he didn't know what games to get him. It's just like, I know a thing or two about video games. Like, I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. I kind of know a lot about the stuff you're trying to look at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just kind of weird because there is like an age gap, but media has brought everybody together on the same level.
Right.
I could talk with anybody about anything.
Right. Like, I can't really tolerate, like, I still hate laugh tracks. Like, it seems so antiquated. Like, why is that still a thing in 2013 on television? So I want
a laugh track for the show.
Oh, no. But then you're kind of, like, making presuppositions like that was really funny. It's like, you don't know. Like, maybe no one thought that was funny.
You don't know. You don't know that was funny. Why are you doing that?
Right. Like, it was weird because, like, I don't know, like, that show does it, and then I watched Parks and Recreation right after that, and it doesn't, and, like, it allows for kind of genuine stuff to kind of build up a little bit. You know, like, there's still a corniness to both of them, but that it kind of gives you credit to kind of know when to laugh at a joke. I can appreciate that. I haven't watched that show in a while. I've only seen the first couple seasons, but, like, I don't know if you've ever seen Parks and Recreation. No?
Yeah, I love it. Erin's here. Say hi, Erin.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Oh, like in the room.
She's in the room with me.
Whoa, I thought you were just in the chat. Now I'm checking Big Bang Theory's on. It is not available on Netflix in the States, so that's fine. I was wondering if I should follow up on looking into that more. Parks and Recreation is though.
Big Bang Theory isn't that good.
It doesn't.
Go ahead and say.
That's the thing. It didn't seem like it was like good, like something I would ever watch, but it didn't seem like it was like horrifyingly bad either. So I basically described it as something I would be like, I'm no more or less excited about it than I am about like oatmeal or something. Like it's just a
dude,
thing.
I love oatmeal.
Okay. Whereas like I'm just
cut
like
some bananas on that shit. You're good.
But I'm saying like something completely generic. Like it's just like, yeah, dude, I'm so stoked about toast. Like it's just like, no, it's all right. It's like hot bread. It's okay.
I love toast.
Okay.
You put some peanut butter on that shit. Holy crap.
Okay.
Your day made.
What's something you're completely indifferent towards? Like, yo, vitamin water. It's awesome.
Dude, I love vitamin water.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, something not great, but kind of okay. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm at a loss because those are my favorite examples. Because I like oatmeal, but I don't love oatmeal. I don't seek out oatmeal. It's just there. Like gruel, I guess, or like a mediocre stew. It's like that. It's like, it tastes fine.
Blazer says, I fucking love muted mice. Put some Nathan on that shit. Okay. Because your mic got a little bit muted, but that was my fault. I'm sorry for turning the volume down.
I clicked the thing with my leg. But no, okay, we're good. I have a new headset that has a little dangle dongle thing that
A
has
dangle dongle.
dangle dongle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not gonna work. Whoa, dude. Okay, there we go. My video card kind of screwed up, and everything it was displaying on my internet was screwed up for a second there. But okay. Anyway, point is, people watch Big Bang Theory. I don't hate it, but I don't watch it, and I don't think it has much to offer me because it's kind of hitting close to home in a weird way on some of it, in a way that I don't find funny at all. Like, it's just like, no, come on, what? Nerds are people. Like, what do you mean?
We're not.
We don't like math either. Like, that kind of presupposition.
Dude, I love math.
What?
I actually do like math.
Okay, I'm not good at it though. So,
I wouldn't say I'm great at it, but I do understand a lot of concepts with it, which is why I love it. It's like things just meld together in a weird way.
Yeah, okay, like I guess basically, like sort of on that note, post reading The Hobbit, I started reading Stephen Hawking's Brief History of Time.
You have to let me know how that is, if it's worth my time.
I'm happy I'm able to grapple with some of the concepts he's laying down better than I thought I would. Like, he's very intentionally removing math from like the stuff he's saying. You know, like he's not spitting equations at you.
He's spitting rhymes.
Well, not quite, but he's pretty articulate in kind of just laying out a history of science that led up to where we are right now. Like Newton.
That's good too.
Yeah, it's been really engaging. I've been really impressed with it. I guess briefly on my podcast addiction, I did listen to Stephen Hawking's Desert Island Discs.
He was on it?
Yeah, he's on it, and it's great to hear him kind of just relay some really relatable human stuff about just having a family and being, like, you know, post, like, losing the ability to walk, like, he went through a really deep depression part of his life. And, like, I've always kind of seen him as, like, oh, he's that super genius that the world loves. But, like, he went through some weird dark times through all that stuff, and it's neat to see that kind of story come out. And it definitely made him more of a relatable person than he was before. Because before he was always like, oh, he's that guy with, like, 178 IQ who, like, knows everything about, like, black holes and physics. And that's just nothing I know about. But it's like, no. He's just a guy. He likes music. He has a family and friends and all this stuff. And it's just like, okay, awesome. I can now engage with this on, like, some sort of common ground. And he's super humble about all sorts of stuff. It was really, really quite a thing to listen to. But the book, a lot of that comes through in the book too. Like, I've been really impressed with what I've read so far. But it's you know, it's dense though. Like, it's like a lot of big topics really quickly. So it's just like, hey, here's basically what Einstein contributed to the world's understanding of everything in, like, a couple pages. And that's a lot of stuff to kind of think through. But now I understand, like, at least a little bit more about what relativity really is and what it means than I did, like, a week ago. So, I don't know. I'm not sure, like, how the bigger quantum theory, like, all that stuff will kind of be relayed, if I'll be just totally flummoxed. But I'm a couple chapters in, and it's been pretty cool. So,
yo, you talking all school and shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Anyways, I thought something would be interesting to do. So in the chat, I said, open topic, throw something out for us to talk about.
Okay.
Do you want to go through some of these and see what we can do?
Yeah, I lost the chat when that video card glitch happened, but I'm loading it up.
Okay, that works, but someone said, random beliefs you had when you were a child.
Oh, okay.
So I believe there was a God, the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. I believed in his only Son, Jesus Christ our Lord, who was conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, who suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died and was buried. He descended to the dead. On the third day he rose again. He ascended to heaven and seated at the right hand of the Father. He will come again to judge the living and the dead. And basically, I was indoctrinated.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if we want to, like, just calling you out, religion. Come on. But yeah, I was definitely in on a lot of that stuff too.
I believe my parents were the smartest people in the world.
Okay.
I believe that good things happen to good people, when really it's not always like that.
Yeah. I'm trying to really think, like, to, like, what or one I kind of generically, like, grew out of or just didn't understand at all. Like, you know, for a long time. I'm I'm trying to think, like, okay, like, I'm not to get too weird or, like, about whatever. Grade 6 was a really weird year, because, like, a lot of kids I knew were getting way into, like, porn.
Hey, grade 7 was a weird year, so technically, since you're a few months younger than me,
Yeah.
whatever, that's the same year.
Right. Like, everyone around me was getting way into sex and porn, and I just literally just did not understand any of it, because I just didn't know. Like, I just didn't have any information to work with. So I was just like, all I know is that's probably not something the teachers want us to do. You know, is hand around printed off pics from the internet and whatever. So I'm not into that. But I don't know why. I just know it's wrong. But I don't know what that means, because I'm not really sure. So, like, it was just like this super giant void of information in and around sexuality. I'm going to say partially because of religious kind of upbringing. Like, it was just like, that's a topic we're not going to deal with right now, past the point where it would probably have been okay to let me know about at least a few things, you know? Like, not to get too kind of transparent about, like, getting the talk or whatever from your parents, but that went horribly. It was so bad. So, yeah, I specifically remember, like, it's weird, we brought it up, like, the word gay.
Yeah.
In grade 4, I just didn't know that there was any other meaning for that. So there was a moment where someone said I was gay, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know, today is pretty fun. Like, I'm doing okay. Yeah. And it was just like complete miscommunication.
Okay,
like,
do you want to hear my porn story?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Besides, like, have I talked on here or on record anywhere about how I got busted for stealing porn and selling it at school?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's done. Another time, like, it was weird because me and my friend, we didn't have internet at my house or my friend's house. Well, we did at my friend's house, but he had 2 older brothers and parents that were home, like, split shift sort of thing. One was a nurse, one was working on something else. So there was always somebody home. So we couldn't look at porn there. So we would go to the Airdrie Public Library because they had internet and they had screen protector things, so you couldn't see what other people were doing unless you were directly in front of the screen protector thing.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so we used to look up porn there and put it on floppy disk, a 3.5-inch floppy.
Yeah.
And that was one of the weirdest experiences. He's the only friend I've ever had that we shared, like, dude, look at the tits on this one sort of thing. Because it's just kind of weird with other friends. Fast forward maybe 2 years later, I think grade 8 or 9, we were at my other friend's house, and it was the first boy-girl type birthday party he ever had, where he invited like 20 people. And there was at one point where a bunch of dudes downstairs just started watching porn on the TV all together in the same room. And I found that was really weird. I thought that was really weird. And then I went into the bathroom. I needed to go piss, and I accidentally walked in on a girl I knew in school giving another friend of mine a blowjob.
Amazing. Like, see, I just had no information to work with of that first-hand nature for a long time. So
she was hot too. She's fat now.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm skinny, but I'm just saying to go from like maybe like 100 pounds dripping wet to like maybe 200. Right. That's a lot of weight, dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, and now some weird alliterations going on in the chat.
Yep. There's some good stuff. Paul's Porn Pals is probably my favorite.
That's pretty good. The other one, Paul's Pussy Pursuit. Yeah. I guess I didn't really pursue it very much. I didn't like a lot of the girls I went to school with. I don't know about you, but like
it's a small private school. Like it was not.
Yeah, they kind of like the girls there were kind of stuck up bitches, and they ruined girls with the same name for me for the rest of my life. So from now on, I kind of hate everybody that's named Rebecca and like Amy and just stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like the girls, you know, when you're younger, if they're total cunts, you just kind of get that name from now on.
I guess that's fair. I don't really have any comparisons. Like I did know some Britneys, just full thing, but they were fine.
I've never known a Britney ever.
Okay. So that name was totally fine. That
name was fine. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say your Britney's pretty good. So
I like my Britney. Yeah, she's nice. Not say like possessive. That's sexist or whatever. but she's cool.
She's my bitch. Is what you're
Well,
trying
like,
to say.
that was part of the video was like, you know, oh, my lady was taken by the bad guy, so I got to go get her back.
See that? You know what
Like,
I
that's
also hate? I'm gonna go ahead and go on the girl side now. I
Yeah.
hate when girls say "my man." Like, well, I'm just gonna talk to my man about it or whatever.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
that. I fucking hate that so
Like-
much.
No party owns the other party. We're just kind of hanging out. It's cool. Like, just relax. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Certain but okay, I'm trying to think back to, like, you know, just complete misconceptions I had about how everything works kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, those kind of notions. And, like, to some extent, I guess you could look at, like, some religious inklings as some of that stuff. But, like, even within that subcategory, like, there was definitely, like, some weird kind of, like, well, if I don't read this percentage of the Bible every night, something bad's gonna happen. And it was just like, what? Like,
You
where
were
did
you were in a weird position. Like, I went to Catholic school. You're in a weird position though, because you kind of went to like a private Catholic school where I think that was more enforced.
Well, it wasn't Catholic. It was more fundamentalist Christian. Like,
Sorry, like I'm just gonna say a religious school. Period.
it was yeah. And that, but the thing is, like, that wasn't even really their prerogative either. It was literally one chapel session hosted by the Gideons that just creeped me out. You know, like the people that hand out Bibles in hotels or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they had some story about like their founder was reading the Bible every night, and at one point he was out on the road and realized he'd forgotten his and was so freaked out about it for some reason. And I was just like, well, I'm going to be like that guy. And I don't know why, because it's not like he's a hero or whatever. Like, I don't know. But like, I guess that was the inkling for why he felt hotels should have them just in case, so people can have one on hand. But I don't know. Like, I got so bent out of shape about putting in my daily quota of scripture business to the point where, like, I had this insane, like, that's probably why I ended up walking away from all of it, because it's like the specific version of what God was in my mind was so angry that I just didn't want to deal with that at all. So, yeah. Religious time, yay. But
Should we move on other topics people said?
I guess if people had other topics, I'm trying to think. I want to say like there's probably some really good basic one. Like I just didn't know how like specific like physics worked, or like how people got driver's license, or something really basic and societal that I just didn't understand.
Well, I mean, the question was like beliefs you held back in the day,
Right?
So like, I think like we probably share the same ones. Where like my parents are the smartest ever for a while, or
Yeah.
like
Well, like
the infallible truth of like what the scriptures say was a big one for both of us, because Catholic school and religious schools in general.
Yeah.
Like Easter Bunny,
Or like, you know, I guess maybe really one of them would have just been like, yo, swearing is bad.
Yeah.
So, dude.
Yeah.
And then like at some point, I think it was in high school, I watched Pulp Fiction, and I was just like I was like so baffled by how much they were swearing. Like up to a certain point, I was counting the number of uses of the word fuck in every movie I saw, just as like a thing. Just to be like, whoa, man, that movie's really crazy. They say it 24 times. It's insane. That would be like Aliens or
something.
something.
What about Fuck the World by ICP? He says, don't try to analyze these rhymes. In this song, I say fuck 93 times.
Whoa.
I know. He almost says it 100. Like, why couldn't you put like 7 others in there?
Well, 93, like, that's still a lot. But then I would hear statistics like, dude, he says it, like, Tony Montana alone says it 182 times in Scarface. And I was like, that can't be right.
But it's also 2 hours, and Fuck the World is like a 3 or 4 minute song.
Yeah, that's fair. But, I mean, for me, like, based on, like, the level of stuff I'd heard up to that point, it was like, it broke my scale. Like, it was just like, wait a minute, what? Like, there's 200 and some odd uses of it in Pulp Fiction, and I was just like, I don't understand what's happening anymore. Like, that can't be right. I must have misheard. And then I checked on IMDb, and it was like, oh, I missed some. There's even more. You know, like...
I broke my scale once. Then I decided to run my fat ass around the block a few times.
But it was weird. It was like, I honestly kind of kept track of whether or not, like, how many times I'd cursed in my entire life up to a certain point.
Because you were just, like, worried about it?
I was scared about it, you know, and I'd be like apologizing and repenting and all that stuff. And then at some point, like the day I said my first like fuck was just like, that's extreme, like amazing. Wow, I did it. And now I don't even remember what that was.
Has there ever been a movie that scared you a lot?
Like, just, what do you mean? Like, just got under my skin and weirded me out?
I'm going to tell you, Scream
Okay.
scared me. And I think it was because, I was really into horror for a long time. But
Yeah.
that was the first horror movie that was so entrenched in reality, where it's just like I was a teenager and the killers were two teenage kids that were just kind of insane. And, it was just stabbings or whatever. It's something that could happen anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that was the first one that really hit home, because the rest of them, even though Friday the 13th or whatever, they'd have stuff like that, it was just still kind of jokey, where it's like, oh yeah, he came back from the dead or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that was the first one that hit hard for me, to the point where it was hard for me to sleep without a light on for a while.
I'm trying to think if anything really in that way creeped me out.
The Changeling Mario 64 Mario says scared the shit out of him. I agree. That one was fucking creepy.
Was that the wheelchair?
That was only PG-13, I think, too.
Okay.
Which is weird. But at the time, when that came out, I would have been maybe 10 or 9 or something. So I don't know. It was still too advanced for me.
I'm gonna say there were a couple movies I kind of just encountered on CBC, probably when I was 14, 15, Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive, that one part, the dumpster.
Oh, dude, yeah.
That's just the worst thing ever. To this day, if I watch
scene,
that part, terrifies me.
I respect that scene so much, though, for how much they do with so little. They build up basically just a dude in weird makeup, and then make it absolutely bone chilling, and it's amazing. But I guess at that teenage age or whatever, where a lot of sexual confusion, whatever, there's the scene where she does the audition with that older guy, and it's just really strange. But then pretty much right after that is the lesbian sex scene in that movie.
So good.
And I was just I don't even understand what's happening, but I really want to watch this. This is amazing.
It's I don't understand what's happening, but I love titties.
And it was just I need to see the rest of this movie sometime. And eventually I did, and there's weird, scary stuff in there. Post that, the grandparents coming back and everything at the end of the movie is just really bothered me for a long time after that. There'd be well, I'm having a hard time sleeping. At least I'm not thinking about that. Oh, wait. And then I just wouldn't be able to sleep. Because I just started thinking about weird, creepy, small people becoming manifest in your house, and just do you remember at the end of the movie she gets so tormented by these old people in her house?
I'm just trying to remember.
But it's so weird. I don't even know if they're her real grandparents or what. I've heard some theories as to what that all means. This might be repressed memories of them abusing her as a kid coming back. But the way it's manifested in the movie is just she's alone at home in her apartment. These little tiny figures, they actually relate to the weird guy behind the dumpster because they crawl out of a bag he has.
Okay.
Yeah, they he tips over this paper bag. They come out. They appear. They crawl under the door of her house, and suddenly there's these two old grandparents in her house, just kind of waving their hands around and smiling in this really weird way, following her down the hallway, and then she just flips out and commits suicide. And it was just so high strung and just weird, and the movie ends on that note. It just stuck with me for quite a while after that. So yeah, probably some David Lynch stuff, specifically Mulholland Drive. And what was the other one I said?
Lost Highway's terrifying.
Lost Highway's pretty weird, but I saw it kind of late. That was one of the last Lynch movies I saw, so I was already pretty versed in what he does.
Let's go back to porn for a second.
What?
Let's go back to porn for a second.
Okay.
Do you ever remember the porn channels and trying to watch them, but it would be all squiggly or whatever because you didn't have the box?
That didn't actually I wasn't watching we didn't have cable of any kind for a long time, so I'd missed that whole kind of potential de-scrambling thing. It would be more you'd see the titles and just be oh, what? Weird. And then it was more yo, if you watch Showtime past a certain time, you get some pretty awesome business. That kind of stuff. But no, not specifically.
Okay, because I remember that.
Okay.
Those were the good old days where you'd be looking just at this weird fuzzy channel. And it's oh shit, I think that's a nipple. Fap, fap, fap.
Right.
You're just like-
That's the joke that opens American Pie, right? Like that's pretty much what he's doing.
Yeah. Maybe that's just our generation. That was before the internet.
Specific TV thing. Yeah, pre-internet porn, which like that's obviously just changed everything. But
Changed everything.
Changed everything. Although I will say some of the earliest business I got into was probably just like kind of, hey, video game fan art. It was just like, what's Lara Croft doing here? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
It's like, what's she doing here? I don't know, but I want to be that guy.
Yeah, what are the DOA girls up to? It's just like weird, like creepy, because it's like early 2000s too, so it's not like good CG either. It was just kind of bad. Like, but it's just like, all right, I don't know. This is all right. Why not? That was and it's probably warped my perspective on everything forever. So thanks, Team Ninja. You did a terrible job.
Okay, let's go to the next topic. Somebody said favorite worst video games.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, like, by today's standards, Resident Evil, because that game doesn't play well for a lot of people. Just like maybe if they just pick it up ever.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's probably my favorite. I'm just gonna stick with that one.
I'm trying to think of like games that were like, I mean, obviously Deadly Premonition is one, but that's pretty recent. But there's kind of a debate on that one, right? Like whether or not what it was doing was actually genius or not.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think if there was games that it's just like I just picked up not knowing any critical opinion at all and just decided they were pretty good because it was all I had. So like I'm not sure how the public considered the Super Star Wars games, or like I put them in probably way too much time with like Cruising USA, Inspector Gadget for Super Nintendo, Mario was missing.
Inspector Gadget for Super Nintendo is terrible.
It's really bad, but I played like a bunch of it.
Yeah.
Like I was actually at a flea market this weekend, and I was just like, oh, here it is. It was like $40 or something. I was like, there's no way this is worth that much. Like, this is bad.
A lot of people consider Zelda 2 really bad, but that's still one of my favorites. So maybe that.
Like, that's like largely considered bad, but you felt otherwise. Oh man, some of the Simpsons video games, like
the Space Mutants.
Like, I guess going back that far, I was actually way into Road Rage.
Like, I know you were. I never played Road Rage, though.
I beat it twice. Like, everyone was like, if you look at reviews for that, it's a lot of 5s and 6s, and everyone was just like, oh, it's a really bad Crazy Taxi clone. But I was just like, I didn't play Crazy Taxi, so this is awesome. I loved it. I beat it twice on 2 different consoles. Like, the GameCube version and the PS2 version. I think I got rid of it eventually. Like, I just was like, this is great. But, on a similar, like, it was better regarded, but Simpsons Hit and Run, I spent a lot of time playing that, too. It's like bad GTA, but with Simpsons.
M64M asks Road Rage what system?
Oh, PS2 and GameCube. So I didn't play the GBA one, but, that might have been fine, too. I'm not 100% sure.
He said GBA was fucking shit.
Oh.
He's calling you out. He's saying GBA, Road Rage, fucking shit.
Okay, whereas I thought he was getting to like the fucking shit. Like it's the shit. So I thought he meant good. But okay, I believe you. It's probably pretty terrible.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there was like some just okay. I don't know if this is probably another like generational thing. Like shareware discs or whatever, where you just have a bunch of like demos essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally. Like, I lived off of those for most of my transitional years between where I was a preteen or teen or whatever, and I should have had a job. So I didn't at that time, so I couldn't afford my own games, and my parents were like, I'm not buying you games anymore. So, like, the shareware discs and trial discs, they were what I lived off of.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know how good it was. Like, if what I vaguely remember, like I think some people who went on to be Monolith had some hand in this game, but there was this kind of okay-ish Terminator first-person shooter that I played a demo level of over and over again off of one of those shareware discs, and also like the first couple levels of the first Tomb Raider, but that's it. Like just the first little bit. So like there was like games where I only saw like little chunks of them. But I still was like, yeah, no, I played that. but not really. Or like Dark Forces, like it was in some bundle. I played Jedi Knight, but only the first level.
Mhm.
Like I've said that before, but yeah. I don't know. So like, yeah, like not even complete experiences in any sense. Like I have no idea if those games were good or not, but I never saw any of them anyway. So it was kind of weird. Rayman Arena was another one I got weirdly into. It was like a foot racing game. It was like a platformer racing game for the GameCube. I still have it because I actually still kind of like it, but I haven't played it in a while. But no critic anywhere was saying that was anything special at all, but I thought it was kind of neat. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's move on to the next one here quickly.
Also Rocky. But okay.
Drunk stories about being drunk? ?
I've only recently gone down this path at all. But
okay, I'll let you start because I might have a few. I'm just a bit like I'll gauge your response and see what I'm willing to share.
Okay. Probably like the first time was kind of just annoying to me because like it was between classes. One class had just ended and it was the last class of the semester. No, it wasn't. It was just post a test or something. But like the class went out for beers. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I don't have another class for a couple hours, so let's hang out. And I had too many beers. I just didn't gauge how hungry I was or any of this stuff. And I missed a class on Dogma 95.
Okay.
If you're familiar with like Lars von Trier's Cannes Film Festival kind of manifesto.
Yeah.
And I was bummed out because I was just like, I know I'm physically not capable of being in that class right now, so I'm just going to stay here. But I really wish I was there. And I just was like, yeah, I just ruined myself somehow. And I took the bus there and everything. It wasn't a big deal. Like I could get home, but I still was annoyed that I missed that class because I just misunderstood my tolerance level, which is terrible. I can't drink very much at all. I am not seasoned at this at all. It doesn't take much to get me totally off kilter. So yeah, I don't know. And then following that, like the next time was probably that Daft Punk thing, like a year ago or some months ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have not. Oh, I guess there was also like going out for comedy and pizza with my dad, and again having too many beers. But that just resulted in me feeling kind of like Jack Sparrow. I just felt like, yeah, I just feel good, I just feel staggery, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Like
I haven't done anything insane though, so I
like what type? I mean, I'll maybe put this out to the chat and you specifically because you can answer right away.
Yeah.
But like, what type of story do you want to know? Like, what genre of story, if you will, would you like to know? Because I've been drunk a lot. There was a while there where my friend and I, the one that we used to like look at porn together back in the day.
Yeah.
And like save it on floppy disks and stuff. We used to drink every couple nights. And
Right.
there was a while there when I lived in Edmonton and I was alone and kind of depressed. I was drinking every night.
Okay.
So
yeah, like waking up disoriented. Is that like the chat's kind of saying? Has that ever happened? Because like
okay.
these all end with me at home just being kind of annoyed. But yeah.
Not really a strange place so much, but I was at that friend's older brother's house because he had moved out before we did or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he was much older. There was a party going on at his house, and the weirdest place I woke up was like on a couch. Like, I'm just trying to remember what was going on. I woke up on the couch and there was like other girls around playing Mario Kart.
Okay.
Or whatever, Rainbow Road specifically. And like that's probably the weirdest because then I remember going down and having to take a shit really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And like the booze poos are the worst. So I remember falling asleep like while doing that. So maybe waking up for like 10 minutes later in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been the weirdest. Like there's been a few times I woke up on a train.
Right. A train?
Like going home.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That kind of sucks. But, sorry, I guess with that classroom break one, like, I definitely do remember, like, the sensation, not poo, but urinating. was like really weird. Like it was just like I really need to go in a way I can't control.
And you're just like trying to aim, but it's like no matter what you do, you're kind of getting out of the bowl a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean that kind of is why I guess at some of these bars they have like a big old trough, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
it totally is.
And like a bunch of things about bars and bathrooms just made sense to me.
Can we talk about how weird it is to piss at a trough with a bunch of other dudes?
No one else was there when I was there, but it seems like that would be an awkward.
Okay, have you never been to like a concert or like an event or something? Like at the Saddle Dome here in Calgary specifically, they have kind of just like the wall that you piss on with water constantly falling down.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of weird because like at a concert there's a lot of people there, so you're just like standing there with like 10 other dudes like fucking dinglings out just flopping everywhere. Just the weirdest thing.
I don't think I've ever had to actually contend with that awkwardness, but it seems like it would be like, you know, you're used to a little tiny like half a wall thing between the urinals.
Yes.
And they're just like, no, we can't trust you with that. You're too drunk. Like, it's just weird.
Have you ever had another guy look at your junk while you're pissing? Not
to my knowledge.
That shit's weird. Some dude did that to me and I was just like, hi? It's like, sup. That was it.
There you go.
It's the weirdest thing. Like
bathroom etiquette. It's just unwritten rules.
Yeah, unwritten rules. Do not look at other people. You know what? Don't even talk to other people while you're in there.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like that's kind of that just makes sense. Like even people have had anecdotes of being like going in there and it's like, oh, weird, Martin Scorsese's here. You can't say anything. Like it's kind of an awkward scenario where it's like, well, I really would like this is an extraordinary opportunity. But at the same time, no, this is not the time or place, and you just have to know that. So don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, like, I've never been really interested in what other people are packing, mainly because I don't want to depress myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just know the one time I look over, it's going to be like, oh shit, that's as big as my fucking arm. I'm useless as a man. So, like, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to.
I need to take a bathroom break just on this topic specifically, so I'll be back. Breaking news.
You feeling good? You okay?
I'm okay.
You're like, okay. You sound like maybe you had a drink too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you there. It was
an complete empty stomach too. I really need to eat, I realized.
Yes. I haven't eaten a thing all day. So
yeah.
Yes.
Breaking news.
Okay, breaking news. Yep.
Ron Gilbert has left Double Fine.
Oh shit. Really? I didn't. Okay. I'm actually interested in this. What happened?
I don't know. I just read the story. It was on Shack News. I guess he's just kind of like, you know, thanks for giving me the opportunity to make the cave, but I'm going to move on. But he's staying in the game industry. You know, it's not like a retirement thing or like, you know, I'm throwing in the towel like the doctors at BioWare or something. It's like, no, I'm going to go find somebody else somewhere else to work. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. But
him and Tim get along, right? They've been together for like ever.
Well, they've known each other for decades, yeah. So I don't know. I'm not really sure what his reasoning is, but I guess he just wants new opportunities, different change of scenery or something. So I don't know. That's cool, I guess. It was just kind of weird to see that. I would have thought, you know, they would have got on pretty good.
It makes me sad.
I'm just kind of happy that I got to see him at that party.
I was going to say it makes me sad because that party was one of the like the defining moments of me as I'm not going to say human being because that's way overboard.
Yeah.
I'm going to say like somebody who likes the industry or like writes about the industry sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like I played these games. I have opinions of these games, and I'm talking to the creator of these games right now.
Yeah, no, it was definitely eye-opening.
And they're real nice guys.
Yeah, no, that was a really good night. So, I have a cookie in my mouth right now. So
what type of cookie is it?
It's the Girl Guide chocolate-covered mint ones.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Girl Guides came over and they sucked you dry for every... that sounded really bad. They took all your money, huh?
No, this was yet another along with that whiskey. Because of the move. there was just a lot of stuff left behind that we got to take, and I was like, hey, cookies. I like cookies.
Fuck yeah. Most
yeah, I
important
got some
thing.
tea biscuits too. I'm looking forward to getting more of those. But yeah.
Cool.
Grandparents moving.
Yay. I think that's it for this week, though.
Okay.
I have no other topics to talk about, and the chat doesn't either. So, I mean,
Site bots in stores now.
we're doing this live. You should come listen to us if you're listening to this after. pixel-response.com/live, or, I mean, just follow me on Twitter. I'm sure I'll tweet something out. You can do that at Exposure, EXFAUXSURE. You can get Nathan at Krasnor, KRAZNOR.
Yeah, you can follow me too. I don't really talk about the site as much or Pokemon or anything, but I'll probably just complain about some shit or talk about coffee. It's awesome.
And he's going to sound really grumpy about it, but, like, that's only because of the character limit.
That's only because of the character limit. I'm actually not ever as pissed off as I sound. Like, pretty much ever. Just like, man, this coffee isn't that great. I'm not, like, freaking out about it. It's just like, oh, I wish this was tastier. But it's okay. You know,
But it's okay.
It's okay. But I can't get all that nuance in there.
If you just want to hear about site stuff, pixel_response on Twitter. It'll tweet all that out for you. So don't worry about that. If you have anything you want us to talk about, or what's your porn stories? Tell us about your porn stories at podcast@pixel-response.com. Facebook is facebook.com/thepixelresponse. You can listen to us on Stitcher or iTunes. I mean, leave us a review on both. You don't really leave the review on Stitcher, I guess. Just put thumbs up, thumbs down, that whole sort of thing. Probably thumbs down because we're drunk as we're doing this last part here, so it's really hard for me to talk. But anyways, Amazon link, they actually brought this up on the Spaghetti Cast. Can you imagine that? These dudes that we barely know are bringing up, like, help these guys out.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
I know. It's so good. And then at the same time, I put in our show notes amazing link for purchases because I'm an idiot. But anyways, go ahead and if you're going to shop on Amazon.
I thought you were saying an amazing Amazon link, but no, you just typed it wrong.
I just typed it wrong because I'm an idiot. Go to pixel-response.com, click the Amazon link. It's Canada only right now. I found out. I will fix that. So you Americans, all of 3 of you or whatever you are, you can go ahead and buy everything through that and give us $1. And I mean, for how much you're going to be spending, we'll probably be lucky to get $1, but there you go. Retro Kill Screen is delayed because I didn't want to do it this week, just straight up. Spaghetti Cast will be out Wednesday as normal. And as always, pixel-response.com for more. Just follow us and stuff happens on a weird, random basis. But we got some good stuff coming out.
Yeah.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk with Ian Stalker.
You know, Spring Breakers in theaters soon. Get ready. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah. There you go.
Harmony Korine.
Woo! And we'll see you guys next time.
It's like Gummo, but way better. I don't know that for a fact. There's more dubstep in it though.
Throw some money in your account, girl, so you can buy food and cigarettes, girl. We'll have a big orgy of sound. You want a sound orgy? Pixel-response.com. Like when you hear about an orgy with like 5 other guys and maybe 1 girl, you're just kind of like, well, not that interested, but maybe a little.